Good afternoon from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I'm Joe Hunk. Not only did the Tennessee Titans have practice today for training camp, the Tennessee Vols were on the field as well for day one of fall practice as they get ready for their August 31st football game. The NFL has said that, look, when you're paying attention to the preseason games, even tomorrow night, you will not see a chain gang as they will be testing Sony's Hawkeye technology during the preseason to potentially replace all of the chains for first downs. Now, the system, according to NFL executive Gary Brantley, will not be fully implemented until next season. Team USA basketball going on right now as the men are absolutely destroying South Sudan as they just tipped the second half off as USA is up 55-36. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Vols, the flagship station for your Tennessee Titans, as well as home to 3HL. This is 104.5 The Zone.
HL 104.5 The Zone. What up, Nashville? Britt Doherty with you on a beautiful day in the Music City. It's a little toasty. Dawn Davenport is here. We're going to save the intros for later because we got things to do. How are you, Dawn?
All right. How are you?
Good. Slay Dog?
Yes.
I'm in the building. What's happening?
Training camp, day 2 in pads. We were all out there. You will hear from Coach Mack. Coming up, also Todd Fuhrman, Bet the Board podcast from Vegas. Titans outside linebacker Rashad Weaver spent time with us, and he will be on the show. And John Ojukwu.
Yes.
Is how he
Emphasis
told
on
us.
O.
Yeah. Greg Cosell also at 5:20, breaking down the Titans defense. But we start by going to Paris and checking in with Dan Wetzel, Yahoo Sports. Dan, what's up, man? How are you?
What's up, guys? How's everyone doing?
Hi, Wetzel. We miss you.
Appreciate you hopping on, man. It's 10 o'clock at night there?
Yes, bonjour. That's how we say it over here.
Shouldn't you be out with Snoop Dogg?
Snoop Dogg is everywhere, man. He's the Team USA's #1 fan. Pretty good to see.
I mean, he has been everywhere. Like, he did a piece with Michael Phelps yesterday where he was in a pool in the hotel. And the scene, did you see him, like, dancing with Simone Biles? He was at the gymnastics event. Like, all the stars are out there, though. I mean, there's tons of stars over there.
What is, like, Snoop Dogg's, like, popularity rating? Like, it just crosses every segment of society. Everyone loves Snoop Dogg.
Every generation.
Every generation,
genre, culture, ethnicity,
everybody he's just there, happy. He sits down next to you. The parents get excited. I mean, he gets Simone dancing. It's amazing. It was a great move by NBC to hire Snoop Dogg as America's top fan.
Do you have one of his rings? The ring with the pin? Where the rings are smoking.
He is not. I do not have that. I hope he's obeying all local laws. I don't know what they are, but we want to save Snoop Dogg. So
save the dog.
Yeah, he's not hanging out with me. He is. I mean, he is A-list. He is A-list over here. So
have you been
he's not hanging out with me?
Have you been swimming in the Seine River yet, Wetzel?
Yeah, I mean, most mornings I go down there, get a bath. No. How about that thing? They did do it today.
Yeah,
like.
Is
they haven't
safe?
swam in this river. This river runs through Paris, right? Famous river. Not that I knew the name of it like 2 weeks ago, but so maybe some of the listeners are like, it's okay if you're like me, just learning these things. And I had been to Paris, and I still forgot the name of the river. Anyway, they have been trying to swim in it for 100 years, and it has been closed because it's polluted. And yesterday it was too polluted to swim in, but today they said it was okay.
What?
Are you buying that reading? If you're a triathlete, are you like, okay, so after 100 years, today's it's clean enough for me to swim in? That's what you're saying.
Yeah, Slay yesterday he was like, there's no way I'd do that event. I'd just say, sorry, USA.
I apologize, America.
I mean, sometimes, right, like, bacteria builds up at the, in beaches and stuff, but it's not 100 straight years of it.
Oh my gosh.
Dan Wetzel, Yahoo Sports, is in Paris covering the 2024 Summer Games. What has been like your favorite moment, your favorite event
Well, I've been covering a lot of gymnastics, so there were two really. One is just watching in person Simone Biles, either on vault. She's great on all of them, okay, and they all are great on all of them. But either vault or her first tumbling pass on the floor, where she gets 12 feet in the air.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
We all texted ourselves after
Watching
that, and I'm like,
yeah.
she could have dunked herself, Wetzel.
She could have dunked. Now she could. It's a springy mat. She could win the high jump. Except it's a springy mat. If you did that on a track, you're not getting 12 feet in the air. But still, let's not. Well, you know what? Maybe she excellent point. I'm not earning anything out. It is absolutely breathtaking to watch a human being with she's standing there and then she's 12 feet in the air. It is the most amazing thing. It takes the breath away. And normally these gymnasts, right, there's 24 so gymnasts competing at a time, and they're at all these different apparatuses, and this country's on the balance beam, and generally these women are concentrating on their thing, and they're focused and all of that. When Simone Biles gets called to compete, if they're not going to go, everybody turns and watches her. They're like, they gave up on their teammates. They're like, yeah, you're on your own on this. I got to see this. And then she does it.
That's incredible.
It's astounding. And then there was the pommel horse guy who wore his glasses up to the pommel horse. He can't see without his glasses. And he wears them. He gets up there. He's doing his chalk thing. Then he takes them off, wins the bronze medal for the United States on the pommel horse. He says he could do it by feel. Now, I don't know how to do pommel horse, but I would want to see. He says you don't need to see. You do it by feel. And then he gets off, wins the bronze for the United States, and throws his glasses back on. I mean, that's America. And the guy can do a Rubik's Cube in 10 seconds.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's maybe even more
engineering. He's a self-described, so I'm not picking on him because he's not. I mean, I'm a lot nerdier than him. He's the one with 0% body fat who can do a pommel horse for 2 minutes. But he's a self-described nerd. I went to Penn State for engineering, and he's a Rubik's Cube master, and he wears glasses, and he wins bronze medals. I mean, this is what we want. That's how I want. That's what I want.
And doesn't he nap? I mean, wasn't there video of him fast asleep? Because all he does is the pommel horse. Is this that guy?
Yeah. His only job on the team is pommel horse. So there's six things, and 3 guys go on each thing. So there's 3 Americans on the rings and 3 on the high bar, all the different ones. And I'm telling you, man, I know men's gymnastics does not get the hype, the women's gymnastics, but good Lord, these events are just torturous. Where did they come up? What dungeon did they come up with these things? The pommel horse alone. What was this? Who invented this torturous device where you have to basically move around on your hands for 2 straight minutes? Forget it. Anyway, he just sits there the whole time. He's kind of like the field goal kicker. He's just there. Get Vinatieri in at the end. We got to win it. And here he comes.
Let me go win the medal for us. Hold on.
So,
get my glasses off.
The big controversy. What is the nickname for the U.S. women's gymnastics team? Have we come up with one?
Oh.
Well, yeah, I think you want me to say this on the air so you can use it as a drop.
Well, I
know how that works.
You could say F, maybe.
So officially, they later said it's the Golden Girls because most of them are old because they have 4 20-somethings, right? We have 27-year-old Simone Biles, we have 24-year-old Jade Carey, 23 Jordan Childs, and 21 Suni Lee, and then we have 16-year-old Hesley Rivera. So, but normally this team is all 16, 17-year-olds. Now they're older. Yeah. And so they said, well, we'll be the Golden Girls. But what they originally said, and I know this is really their team name because this is the one they said, the team name is, and just a preface, they usually do this when they win a gold. They were the Magnificent Seven in Atlanta. They were the Fierce Five in London, things like that. Yeah. So Golden Girls kind of like a lame name like that.
None of them have seen that show. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. Have they even seen it? I don't think so. Their coach suggested it. Simone Biles said the team name is F Around and Find Out. I thought that's the greatest team nickname I have ever heard.
Ever.
Oh, and that is a team nickname that a bunch of 20-year-olds would come up with, right? Mm-hmm. These are not little kids anymore. They've been to college. Some of them are married. Like they got life, and F around and find out. We got Simone. Go ahead. That is the best team name. And then they come, well, no, Golden Girls. Like, the corporations or something. We can't have that as our name. Come on. That is a fantastic name.
I mean, how many T-shirts would you sell with the Golden Girls or F around and find out? I mean,
how many pack of four 20-year-olds are sitting around and they go, let's have a nickname for our group? What's the chances they came up with Golden Girls?
It's definitely somebody else.
No, they came up with F around and find out. That is a great name. I feel better as an American when that is our gymnastic team name. I'm outraged by this Golden Girl thing. I'm not happy. Great show. Quality show, Betty White, all that. But
all that.
Come on, man.
Well, Team USA basketball, they're winning right now, 62-49. What kind of storylines have you found out about this team and how they're measuring and all those things?
I was just watching. They had 19 baskets in the first half, 17 assists. So, how
about that?
Forget it. If they play like that, no one's beating them. They're starting to come into rounded form here. Clearly, it's just a chemistry thing. South Sudan, I mean, it was a 101-100 game in the exhibition like 10 days ago. And on this one, the U.S. went on, I think it was like a 30-9 run or something. So watching them is something else. I mean, there's just so much talent on that floor. And they're a lot of fun when they're playing like that. So we'll see this go. This should be a good tournament. I think we're probably like one more Olympic cycle or two from where this is just going to be, basketball is going to be so great. Mm-hmm. Like 4 or 5 countries can absolutely win gold. It's going to be like it's like a mini March Madness every 4 years, just with the best players in the world. Anything can happen.
So we actually replayed your segment with us, the year of the curling team.
I heard. Yeah, some of my friends in Nashville they always love it when that pops out.
I swear it's my favorite ever, and it's just pure gold. But I was talking yesterday. I said, there's always a team in the Olympics that people have never watched, never heard about, never seen, and they just gravitate towards them. And it was the curling team that year, obviously. What do you think? I mean, obviously everybody always loves the gymnast, the female gymnast and all that, but what do you think it is this year so far?
I think that men's gymnastics was pretty fun. This women's rugby,
yes.
I don't think people were watching it, but that finish, and unfortunately, that's it. They won the bronze, which is good for them. But there's not more games to build off of.
Yeah, I need more, man.
Slay was like, "Oh, I'm going to watch it." Brent was like, "They just won the bronze. It's over."
94 meters, Wetzel. 94
Slay,
meters.
that is a sport for you.
Yes, every bit
she
of
busted that tackle, man. And then the speed.
Yes.
Yeah.
The pull away. I'm just waiting on at some point when they get to slide in and they score, like it should be like a dog pile at the end. And if they can get out of the dog pile, that should be like an extra point. It's that physical.
We'll just add some sports. Yeah. I love Americans at the Olympics. There's 2 types of sports at the Olympics. There's the ones America is good at and stupid sports. That's how
that's the ones I value.
That's how Americans view the Olympics. We ought to try it. These guys have been playing a sport like for 200 years. Like, what they ought to do is change the rule like that. Yeah, I think I've been watching for 6 minutes.
Yeah, that's it. And I got an idea.
I will say this, man. You've got me really wanting to find out the history of the pommel horse, and I'm definitely going to do that.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
it's a good question.
Wetzel. No idea. Watching those guys on there, forget it. There's probably harder things to do on Earth, but I can't think of one right now.
Imagine what happens if you mess up. I mean, there's lots of bad that can happen on that thing.
Oh, yeah. A lot of bad. And they do mess up. They fall down. And that's why I think you get extra points if you do that real one daring move. I will just leave it at that. I think everyone's seen the pommel horse.
So
careful out there, people. Careful.
Dan Wetzel, Yahoo Sports over in Paris, covered in the Olympics. You can check him out at Dan Wetzel on X. So big controversy in swimming they were talking about because the pool depth, somehow we got onto this, but the pool depth is not what it normally is. So swimmers are having to deal with waves from the other swimmers, and they're saying that's why the records aren't falling.
Slow pool. That's what they call it, a slow pool.
Is it water, Wetzel?
Apparently not.
I thought so, but what do I know, right? What do I know? Yeah, they have you get caught in Katie Ledecky's wake. Maybe that's just why they let her go ahead. They're like, forget it. We'll just stay back here. It's a little choppy.
We're not going to win the gold anyway. Might as well stay without her wave pattern.
Yeah, I'm not sure who designed this. I didn't even know such a thing happened. You could build a fast pool. There's a lot going on. You know what else is great about swimming? Is my favorite job at the Olympics is the Olympic swimming lifeguard. You ever seen this guy?
Yes.
They have a lifeguard at the Olympic swim pool.
How? Why?
Anything could happen, I suppose, but you'd think there are lots of people who could jump in and save the person better than the lifeguard guy. Right, the lifeguard's like 3 Saturdays I went down and took a class. There's like hundreds of the highest trained swimmers. They could jump in if someone went under. I don't know, but he holds like one of those, like in Baywatch when they would run with that red thing.
Yes,
like the life preserver. What are we doing? What are we doing with this? Yeah. Greatest job. You're getting paid to sit in the front row and pretend you're going to save somebody.
He works at Lululemon full time and he does the lifeguard thing.
Pass the Red Cross class. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing in there.
I would think an ailing Olympian could save the lifeguard. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just their teammates. Just someone else.
Teammates. So
somebody do it. I don't know.
So have you had a chance to go out much in Paris? Because you're pretty notorious for being able to find weird things to do at night.
I have not. Thank you. I have not done a whole lot of that yet. We'll see. It's been busy.
What was the thing in Atlanta you found?
Oh my gosh.
Barroom wrestling.
Yes.
Barroom wrestling. There was pro wrestling with no ring, just inside a dive bar in Atlanta. That was during the Super Bowl.
That was glorious.
Quality entertainment if it ever comes through Nashville. Kind of surprised it hasn't come through Nashville. It probably has.
Right. We have everything else.
Yeah, I say this as a compliment. Nashville's the kind of town that would embrace barroom wrestling. So, it's fantastic. Yeah, we'll see. I got to get kind of down into the gutter of Paris and see what we can find.
Oh, boy.
I'll come up with something.
Oh, man. So what assignments do you have moving forward? Once gymnastics is over, what are you up to?
Actually, a lot of basketball. Yeah, probably a little bit of track. I don't know. Some women's soccer. Women's soccer team's looking good. They went 3-0 in group play, so they could definitely win the Olympics. Quite a turnaround from last summer when they were so bad. So that could be pretty interesting. I don't know. I feel like half the story of these Olympics is just like Paris, like the volleyball stadium by the Eiffel Tower and all the historic places. Yeah, it's amazing.
How are they
doing that?
How are the opening ceremonies like in person?
I wasn't there in person. Oh. I've never. Yeah, who knows? It rained.
Who knows? It rains these days.
Obviously not. Didn't go over too well in the U.S. It doesn't seem like. I missed the controversial parts. I saw some guy trying to play the piano in a downpour, and I felt bad for him. I don't know a lot about playing the piano, but I wouldn't think it'd be fun to do like that.
In a downpour, or just in general?
It just in a downpour. Probably be cool to play a piano.
You know, the event that I think a lot of people look forward to, I certainly do, is the 100 meters, right? And then I saw, and it's like, there's all this build up, and it's incredible to watch these guys, even on television, run that fast, right? But I saw a quote from Usain Bolt that made a lot of sense. He said, "I trained 4 years to run 9 seconds." You want to talk about pressure?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't screw it up.
But you were talking about that with the gymnastics. Like gymnastics, I feel the pressure watching these athletes perform in gymnastics because, is there another thing where you have to be absolutely perfect to have that kind of success?
Right. And everyone's only watching every 4 years, really. I mean, obviously there are some gymnastics fans, but yeah, everyone is watching. And it's a little like the Simone Biles story. Like she's been the best gymnast for 10 years pretty much, but she had obviously this horrific experience and meet over in Tokyo, and everyone was down on her. And then she came back and started winning world championships again. And now everyone loves her because she's performing. But it's like that. You have to build up and peak at that exact moment. And there's no second shots on this thing. And when you go out there, I always think the figure skating is actually like the craziest pressure. The the long skate, women's long skate, it's like 4 minutes. You're out there skating around, and there's no coaches. There's no timeout, and pretty much they get all the best skaters in the world, and everybody falls except for one, and they get to be the gold medalist. Like, that's pretty much it. So it's like, can you do this without falling? The gymnastics is crazy, but the skating is seems just more. I mean, that you're on ice, obviously. So, but yeah, the pressure on them is so immense, and it's a big thing because they can crumble, and the slightest things can get you, and they're just such finely tuned athletes. You watch that balance beam or anything like that, and you're just like, I can't even believe, and you fall off, no go. You hit it. There was a Chinese male gymnast. He fell twice on this horizontal bar and cost China the gold medal on the team. And I don't know the story, obviously, but I imagine not good for him. Not good for him back home.
Might not be safe for him back home.
Yeah, I don't. Who knows? Yeah,
I was looking for a way to say that.
But he's a tough way to go down. And obviously, right, the guy's on the Chinese national gymnastics team. He's must be great at this.
Yeah,
just wasn't that moment.
Oof.
That's tough. Hey, appreciate the visit, Wetzel. I know it's late, obviously, and we'll perhaps check back in with you if you.
All right, if I get something good, I'll hit you guys up.
Yes.
Go find Snoop and go out on them.
Yeah,
Come on, Wetzel.
I'll do it.
I got belief
you got faith in me,
you.
Don. You got faith in me. All right,
You know this.
See what I can do.
Dan Wetzel, Yahoo Sports. Follow him at Dan Wetzel on Twitter. When we come back, Titans training camp, we were all out there today. Coach Mack was too. He'll join us next. 3HL 104.5 The Zone.
Outdoor lighting perspectives of Nashville. Do you need landscape lighting? Do you want to beautify and enhance your home and your landscape? Do you want functional outdoor lighting? They can do any and all of that. Bob Lyons, the owner there at Outdoor Lighting Perspectives of Nashville, has been around with this company for over 38 years. It's been a family business since 1986. They are dedicated to efficient, long-term maintenance of absolutely everything they install. And they'll also maintain a competitor's system, too, for you if you have issues. Outdoor Lighting Perspectives of Nashville does the design, the installation, and the maintenance so that you can light up your night. And I'm talking festival lights, path lights, wall washing, tree lighting, area lighting. I mentioned the maintenance on lighting systems they don't even install. They even do holiday lighting so that you don't have to touch it. They are the best. And I love my outdoor area thanks to Outdoor Lighting Perspectives of Nashville. Our backyard is lit up and awesome. Give Bob Lyons a call. Get the team out to give you a free nighttime design demonstration. You want that? Just go to outdoorlights.com/Nashville.
To celebrate Team USA going for the gold, Xfinity is offering a gold medal deal now through August 11th. Get their best offer yet with 300 megabit Xfinity Internet and one line of unlimited mobile for just $35 a month for a year and a free 5G phone. And the action doesn't stop there. Save on some of the biggest names in streaming by adding the new Xfinity Stream Saver with Peacock, Apple TV Plus, and Netflix for just $15 a month. No wait, when the Olympic Games end, so does the deal. Go to Xfinity.com/Team USA, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Get the fastest connection to Paris with Xfinity, proud partner of Team USA. Restrictions apply, requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Equipment taxes and fees are extra and subject to change. After the promotion, regular rates apply to internet and mobile. Stream Saver price subject to change. Xfinity Mobile requires Xfinity Internet. Actual speeds vary and are not guaranteed. Free 5G phone requires eligible trade-in. Select models only. 3HL 104.5 The Zone. Britt Doherty, Don Davenport, Ron Slay with you. Executive producer of 3HL is Zeph.
What's up?
Did you find any promos in that Dan Wetzel piece?
Maybe like 4 or 5.
It can go really bad on the pommel horse, especially if you do that one move. You know what move I'm talking about. The gymnastics nickname. Oh, man. Titans in pads for the second day today. You're going to hear from, we had a conversation with Rashad Weaver that we will share with you, and Ojukwu.
That's right. Ojukwu.
No, he stressed the O.
Yeah, Ojukwu.
Ojukwu.
We're going to figure it out.
Getting reps at right tackle with the ones. Great story, too, coming out of Boise State. And then undrafted free agent. Thought he was going to get drafted. Ends up with the Titans and ends up in that. Let me bring Coach Mack in here. Coach Mack, what's up? How are you?
Hey, guys. I just caught the back end of Wetzel. Wetzel's a dude, man.
Isn't he?
What? No, I love Wetzel. He's a dude. I mean, he's a guy that you just wouldn't mind hanging with.
Right.
He's one of the smartest, quickest thinking people you will ever be around.
Well, and he also gives zero you-know-whats, too.
Yeah, I think he's reached that stage, that's for sure. But talking about Ojukwu, number 61, right tackle, getting some reps with the ones. We talked with him today. Great story out of Boise State. Undrafted, ends up on the Titans roster, and then finds a role as that jumbo tight end last year and plays in 3 games.
Yeah, I mean, he's a guy that's kind of taking advantage with 2 different staffs of, as you said, being a free agent, that all of a sudden having a reason to stick around. He's a really smart guy, and I spent my whole off season, we know this, with the offensive line and Bill Callahan, but OJ was doing things right, the whole time. I mean, he took to this, and I think you can see this in this entire offensive line. You guys have been watching it. And of course, I'm mic'd up. They've got me mic'd up the whole time in practice this year, doing different positions. But watching the offensive line, I mean, I think that we all agree that I don't know who the right side's going to be, but all of these guys are technically better just because of who's been coaching them, for an off season now. I mean, you can see the techniques that they're using, and it's really, really evident in the one-on-ones. That they're doing, that you can see the direct correlation and the transfer from what they've been taught. Anyway, but OJ he's done something, as I said, with 2 completely different staffs, that they say, hey, we need to continue to take a look at this guy because he's really smart and he's a good foot athlete. He's not the heaviest guy. He's not the biggest guy, but he's not in bad position every now and then. For the most part, he keeps himself in pretty decent position. So I don't know how this is going to shake out, but he's sure helping himself because he's there every day and he's working.
Coach Mack with us on 3HL. Don?
Oh,
Slay?
I thought Slay was
some
taking
Coach Mack. I
over.
seen Coach Mack out there sweating and getting into it. I thought he was going to get out there across the lines, man, and trying to, get involved. But Coach Mack, you've done an excellent job being mic'd up. You're walking guys through it. If you ain't checked them out on social media, go check it out. Coach Mack, you mic'd up every day this week
you know what? Thanks, Ron. It's very kind of you to say. I'll never jump back there across the line. I don't belong there.
Okay.
I've been a professional coach for a long time. I know I'm not a player. So, I understand that. You got to understand your limits.
You don't rival. We saw Kenneth Murray out there with his shirt off. Good Lord. That guy.
Well, look, I remember Kenneth Murray coming out of Oklahoma. I mean, he was the physical gifts. I talked to Frank Bush a lot, and I talked to Bush today. He really likes what he's been able to do with this guy. And the main thing he's done is coaching linebackers. And Bush and I had a little session on it this morning out there. It's all about the eyes, and it's learning how to drive with your bright lights on and then making a decision as soon as you know what to see. And it's always eyes before feet. And I think that's what was, anytime you see when you're writing a report on a linebacker, and when I write a report and I say has got too much hezzy in his play, and hezzy means he's got the ability, but he's hesitating. Okay, in other words, it's hesitating. So take the hezzy out of it. Some guys, when they're hesitant, it's like what they're seeing is like, remember those old Polaroid cameras that had the shutter that came down and then had to go back up before it could complete the picture? Well, shutter guys, it doesn't come back up quick enough. So you've got to take the shutter out of it and teach them how to drive with their bright lights on, and then to be able to hit it and to believe what they're seeing. And that's what he's done with him. I mean, I've seen him change since he's been with this defense. This defense is conducive to that for linebackers. I've seen it through all the guys that we've had in this system with those linebackers like that. I mean, I had a guy that, that I had with Stephen Tulloch, had to learn how to get his eyes right. And once he got his eyes right, made 1 million tackles. And this guy is a physical freak. I mean, he really is. And once he gets that hezzy out of his play, which it looks like to me he has, because I've watched a few linebackers in my career, I kind of like, and Bush kind of likes what he's doing right now because he's taken to this defense. Sometimes it's just about being in the right system.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So speaking of that position group, and I was kind of standing over near there, I wanted and want to see a little more from the Rook, from Cedric Gray during this camp. I feel like we haven't seen a ton, maybe. And I know that I heard something on the sideline like, hey, Gray, this ain't like college. What do you think about kind of his transition and what he's doing?
I think it's kind of that camera shutter thing, Dawn.
Yeah.
In other words, I mean, you've got to know what to look at. You've got to get your eyes right. And when I keep saying that, I know people say, well, Coach Mack, they're looking at the same thing they looked at behind the ball in collegiate football. Not true. You cover collegiate football. You know it's a different game.
Yep.
It's a completely different game. And I think that he's got the physical ability to play. He's got the range to play. He's got to start trusting what he's seen. Because you've heard me say this before, guys. I said it to you before in private, and I said it on your show before, and it's true about coaching linebackers in this league. A slow, correct decision. You with me? A slow, correct decision on defense as a linebacker is wrong in the National Football League because it moves too fast. You've got to be now. You've got to be now. You've got to be now. And that's what he's not doing right now. He's not pulling the trigger yet.
Got it.
Somebody that I get the privy on away games, Coach Mack, when I'm not able to listen to you guys because I'm not near you. I always watch it with Keith Bullock, and that's the way he speaks about it. So it's an interesting insight when you talking about that hesitation and acting.
Well, you understand,
violently.
Bullock and I were in the same room together for a long time.
Absolutely. So I'm getting a piece of you when you
no
ain't
hezzy there.
Mack. Yeah, this is the thing, man. It's a lot of times, Coach Mack, and speak to this for me. If it's not necessarily the message. Sometimes it's the messenger, how they're delivering the message. For these outside backers and the way the terminology is, and it seems like the way these guys are grasping to Denard Wilson or whoever may be the position coach. Can you speak to that defensively? What that message, how it's getting across and how it's getting delivered to these guys and as receptive as they are to the message?
Yeah, well, first of all, I mean, Denard's very clear. I'm going to show you guys his playbook someday.
Okay.
Just to get a grasp of what's going on. But it boils down to the fact that, first of all, Denard Wilson and this entire coaching staff, who I've worked on the field with most of these guys, the first thing that they will tell players in the meeting room, the first meetings is, I've said this, first of all, when they sit down, when everybody gathers together, they say, just want you to understand there's no backups in this room. If you're coming in this room thinking you've got a backup mentality, saying I'll just sit back and I'll just back up for a while and learn. No backups in this room.
Yeah.
I expect everybody to learn and prepare like you're going to play every snap of every game. Then the next thing is they empower them to do that by teaching everybody the same thing, but teaching them to the way they personally absorb it. Professional athletes absorb the same information differently. I mean, that's what you've got to learn as a professional coach is you've got guys that are physically gifted, but they don't all absorb the information the same way. No. It's your job to get down to make a collective group of professional athletes absorb all of the information, but absorb it in their own way, but get them all to the final finishing point. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. And the reason I was asking
to do that.
Okay,
but to do that, you've got to get to know the players, and they've got to trust you. They've got to look. You say you're with Keith Bullock. Bully's one of my favorites because Bully Bully, when I had Keith Bullock, he'd already had two really good linebacker coaches.
Yeah.
Jim Schwartz was his linebacker coach his rookie year. And then he had Gunther Cunningham, who's one of the better technical coaches to ever coach linebackers in this league. Gunn and I were very good friends, and I've got a lot of God rest his soul.
Yeah.
A lot of respect for Jim. But Bully told me, he would sit down and say, Mac, you were the perfect coach for me at this time in my career. Because guys' needs change as their career changes.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
I mean, and so you've got to know where guys are in their progression of their career, and then get everybody. It's not on the same page. It's to get everybody to absorb the same message, their own particular ways.
Gotcha.
That's the key to it, coaching professional sports.
There he is. He's Coach Mack, presented by Two Rivers Ford, with his weekly visit every Wednesday at 3:20. Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it.
Guys, I love seeing you guys all out there together. That was fun today.
Yes, sir. Good day.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, Coach. When we come
See you
back,
guys.
Titans in pads, day 2. Our take. Plus Big Jeff addressing media after
Plus,
practice.
I'm putting the jersey on. I know ain't nobody said it. I'm putting the jersey on.
here we go.
I'm putting the jersey on.
Somebody had a big catch. You can see it on the
Big
Titans
catch.
IG feed.
Plural.
Just-
You okay?
No.
All right, we'll be right back.
Sometimes it's time to upgrade things in your home, and sometimes it's things that aren't the sexiest, right? It's windows and doors in your home. Yeah, that was us. It was time to upgrade windows and doors in my rental property and my home downstairs. And I chose Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville. I have absolutely loved the experience with them. You know that windows and doors are expensive, but you might be surprised to learn how affordable replacement windows are from Pella. Affordable and, of course, the best quality out there. Pella voted #1 by Nashville homeowners as the leading window brand in Nashville. That's based on the existing 2022 survey of leading window brands among homeowners. On top of that, they've got the staff in place to take care of you, and I can certainly attest to that. They also have a deal going on to help you out. 50% off qualifying installations and no money down, no interest, no payments. 12 full months. You have a year to pay these things off. 615-249-1910. Schedule your free consultation. Tell them Dawn sent you. PellaNashville.com.
3HL 1045 The Zone, Brent Doherty, Don Davenport, Ron Slater. Remember, Jim Nance tomorrow in studio from 5 until 6 o'clock.
That's going to be fun.
Is Nance going to hit the boom boom room?
Nance has
yes.
no clue what's coming.
Actually, he
In the boom
listens
boom
to the show. He does.
That's right.
Yeah.
Man,
Actually, he does.
I think he may know.
He does, but he doesn't.
He don't know what is in there for him.
You can know about the boom boom room all you want to until you're in there.
Yeah.
No, that's true. Tajay Spears had heard about the Boom Boom Room, but it's just different when you're in there.
Well,
Man, he loves you.
who?
Tajay Spears.
Yeah, good guy right there.
You guys are like soulmates.
Yeah.
With your
Greenway.
restaurants.
Foodies.
And,
Yeah. That's
Foodies.
us. Yeah, that's us.
Weirdos.
That's us. Yeah, every bit of it.
So yesterday, there were some fracases on the field. Mm-hmm. And then Buck put a tweet out, angered Big Jeff. Big Jeff came. Event happened while Buck was on the air with those two. And then they got together this morning and talked. And then Big Jeff obviously addressed the media after practice and said this about it.
We all know what happened yesterday. A lot of y'all been here since I've been here, so y'all know me. That's not who I am. That's not who I want to be seen as. I talked to Buck. We have an understanding. I have an understanding where we're coming from. I have an understanding where he's coming from. He has a job. I have a job. At the end of the day, I take full accountability of my actions on the field. I mean, that'll never happen again with me. Like I said, I always talk about that switch, when to turn it on, when to turn it off. I was kind of still had it on coming off the field, of course, with the way practice went. But that, like I said, that's not me. It'll never happen again. And to all you guys, like I said, I apologize. And not because it's hit social media, but it's because who I am. That's not my character. And I think from here on out, like I said, from that point, like I said, I spoke on about it. I'm ready to move forward. Any football questions, I'm here to answer.
Jeff, one question on social media. Too, Jeffrey, that setting an example for others, is that where that's coming from also?
Most definitely. We talked about everyone knowing I'm a leader on the team, and I don't want none of my teammates saying that. And like I said, that's not who I am. You know, I look at myself first, because being a leader, you have to point the finger to yourself first. And like I said, me and Buck talk, we have an understanding. And like I said, I told him where I was coming from. He told me where he was coming from. Like I said, we're ready to move on.
You seem very
Perfect.
Moving on.
I thought that was perfect.
Done deal.
Beautifully done. Oh, PK asked him right there, why do you hate us? Basically. So.
Talking about the media as well.
Yeah, talk about the media.
Anyway,
And
this
He
is
was like,
no.
no.
What are you talking about?
But I that's exactly what he needed to do today. I mean, if you could write the PR directions for what a player needs to do after a moment like that.
Yeah, what a pro
that's
wants
it.
and what a pro needs.
Stop it. That is it.
It was perfect.
Right there.
Come on,
he
Slater.
addressed it. He chatted with Buck. He dealt with it. He is ready to move on. Stop making a big deal about it. Here we go.
Yeah.
Doesn't want to be a distraction. You want to say something? Go.
No, I just think that when people share thoughts like this, though, or opinions, or not necessarily sides, but what people understand more so about a debate or an interaction, you don't have to. That doesn't have to be a right or wrong. You know what I'm saying? And it can stay right there, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like you can have a.
I
So
do.
if me and you have a disagreement,
Which we did yesterday.
yeah, the disagreement can stay there.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's a disagreement on that topic. It's not, I don't like because you got a black blouse on now all of a sudden because we had a disagreement, or I hate you carry this pink little water bottle. Like, you know what I mean? It doesn't spill over. That's what I'm
Why
saying.
you hating on me?
Right. But I think a lot of people get short-sighted in that as far as thinking you got to pick sides. It's okay, man. Like, it's adults having a conversation. It is what it is. It's going to get heated at times, especially when you're talking about on the field. And I thought when we get into it later with Rashad Weaver and hear his thoughts, I thought he explained it very.
Big Jeff made a mistake in that moment, addressing Buck in that way with the kids around, all of that. But I also said yesterday, I felt like as a leader, he was going to look back on it and realize and learn from it and move on and honestly be better. And I felt like that's exactly what he did. He stepped back and was like, okay, I did not handle that properly. And came and talked about it today and owned it. That's another thing. People are like, oh, Big Jeff never owns anything. Well, guess what? He just owned that. He owned it and said, that's not who I am. I should have done that. And you want to talk about accountability? Well, guess what? That's what a leader does. Yeah. And that's exactly what he did. He stepped up. He was accountable for his actions. Now, he also pointed out, which it kind of gave us insight into what fueled it. And we talk about that switch and being able to turn that switch off. And I get it, because you guys know sometimes I have a hard time turning the switch off when I get fired up and have a temper. I perhaps might run red sometimes. So I get that part of it.
Really? Okay.
No, we don't need your commentary in this moment. But all of that, like during that conversation, there was more of that conversation with Big Jeff too, and he pointed out that somebody had sent him basically what Buck had tweeted. And I said yesterday, as a media person, I would never frame something the way Buck did. That's more of like a shock jock radio host kind of framing, and how he tweeted yesterday what happened at practice. So I look at that as that is not a media way to frame something that's going on in practice, right? Well. But somebody sent him that. It fired him up. The switch was not turned off yet, and he reacted in that moment. And now he's owning it, that I need to not pay attention to that, And he said, he was like, I told my family and friends, don't send me stuff of what people say on social media. Like, we're done with it, moving on. And I think that he looked at this entire situation and learned from it and is ready to focus on football and go win. Right?
He's done with it, as are we. When we come back, DBs are showing up. We were all at Titans training camp today. We'll talk about that. Also, what position group performed. That coming up and more. 615-737-1045 if you want in, at 3HL1045 on X. We'll be right back.
Time to get some money with Circuit Resort and Casino. Why don't you get involved? The biggest pro football contest in Vegas, they're back. Circle Survivor and Circle Million are now up to $16 million in guaranteed prizes. It keeps going up. You got two ways to win and no rake, people. Circle Survivor contestants select one team each week with no point spread. If the team loses or ties, the entry is eliminated. You can only pick each team once in a season. Last the longest to win it all. What is the all? $10 million guaranteed. In Circle Million, make 5 picks against the spread each week for your share of $6 million guaranteed quarterly and full season payouts. The entry that does the worst wins $100,000. You must register at a Circle Sportsbook in Nevada, Las Vegas, Henderson, or Sparks, Reno. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere. Now, we're heading out there to do a live show over the 22nd and the 23rd. All entries are now open and closed September 7th at 2 p.m. Visit circlesports.com for details. Must be 21 and present in Nevada to enter.
Good afternoon from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I'm Joe Honk, and Titans back on the field today, practicing in pads for the second day in a row. And a lot of this comes down to chemistry now. Will Levis met with the media after practice today to talk about that chemistry that he is developing with Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, it's been good. I mean, we just got to keep working. I think especially just the balls down the field. It would be really cool to see us start connecting more on those, judging his speed and talking about him holding space out there and being able to either run underneath it or separate from the defender. But yeah, he's so dang fast. Like sometimes you got to throw a ball a little differently to get him right.
And the Vols on the field as well for the first day of fall camp as the team gets ready for that August 31st opener. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Vols, the flagship station for your Tennessee Titans, as well as home to 3HL. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Three HL 104.5 The Zone. What up, Nashville? Brent Doherty with you on a beautiful day in the Music City. You can watch the show live, YouTube, Facebook Live, and Twitch.
Twitch, please.
There she is. She's Dawn Davenport.
What up, baby? I said Babby. What up, Babby?
What up?
Babsy. Nah, I left the S out. Babby.
Yeah,
Babsy.
no, that's not the new one.
Yeah, who is Babby? What is a Babby?
I don't know.
Babsy.
It sounds like a grandmother in a cartoon.
It sounds like a cartoon animal. Bambi.
Mm-hmm.
Bambi.
Yeah, it didn't turn out well for Bambi. Yeah. Slay Dog's here.
I'm in the building.
That was a tie.
So we were at training camp today. By the way, the executive producer of 3HL is Seth.
What's up?
Seth, man, 32 cuts of audio.
Way to work, Zoe. You are one of a kind.
And then we have 6 guests today, so.
Busy day. God, I love football season.
This is beautiful.
Yeah, y'all are going to enjoy Rashad Weaver.
We enjoyed him.
He's an interesting guy. And, yeah, he wanted to talk about the whole Big Jeff thing, so he was glad to. Takeaway today. What was your biggest takeaway from day 2 in pads today at Titans training camp? Got one, Slay Dog?
Oh, I got 2.
Hit it.
Number one was a really, really good, productive day, and the dominant force, known to some, you know what, I ain't gonna troll. But Big Jeff was very, very, very dominant. In the backfield, reading plays, getting to the quarterback, getting to the running back on dump downs, getting the tight ends, scraping behind the line, keeping traffic and out of flow, getting other guys open. The communication was high. The conversation when being held a couple of times was, all right, cool, on to the next one. I thought he did a tremendous job bouncing back. That stood out, especially early when they got into the 11-on-11. That was really good to see, and making the plays. Like that spring in his step that we've known him for, beating 2 guys and splitting them and getting to the quarterback was back. I hadn't seen that since early of, not last year, but the year before last, when he was just a menace. And then it looks to be back at that shedding the weight. You can see the cat quick skills coming back, and it's going to be interesting to see where he's lined up all along that defensive line, because another guy that's coming along as well with him is T'Vondre Sweat, being able to play more reps and being able to take up more space. It's going to be interesting, man. Once you start moving that guy around the line and you knowing you got a stable piece up front in Sweat, it's going to be interesting to see what else Big Jeff is able to do as far as just wrecking shop and selecting his spots. And the other one, would you like the other one?
Yes, and I know what it is.
Refer to me, please, first as
Slaylon?
That's gladly accepted. Gladly accepted. Zelf, could you hear my music? Turn it! Turn it! God ain't got no roof! Come on! God ain't got no roof! Turn it off, Zell. Turn it off, Zell. Turn it off, Zell. Turn it off.
We be in the city.
Listen, man. Bring myself back down. I'm trying to tell these people out here. Hey, I understand, y'all. Y'all want, do I got an inhaler in my bag? I'm going to see if I got an inhaler in my bag. Because that was a problem. Then my knee was a little problem. You know what I mean? Everybody did my little head. My little head was a little problem. Little concussions and all that. I about to see it from the mountaintop. If you get my boy healthy, put him up top, watch what he do, and you saw it today. Saw a little glimpse of it yesterday. I said, ooh, my boy open. Didn't get a lot of opportunities, but he ran his routes hard, did what he was supposed to do, got back to the sideline. But today, whoo-wee, how sweet it is.
I've been happy with
Traylon Burks out there on the outside. Lord, have mercy on them corners. That man ain't coming to play. I told y'all, man, keep my boy healthy, and Traylon Burks will give you everything you looking for. That's all. I ain't got nothing to say. Y'all keep your eyes open. Coach Mack told you, be like a linebacker. Play with bright lights. What you see is what you get. That's what y'all want. Fans, that's what I want you to do. Put your bright lights on. Keep them on them. Because when they're out there and get the opportunity, make the most of it, boy. Woo-hoo. I'm talking about sweet feet, big body. All that. And my boy just keep taking his shirt off. That's how good he feeling. He just keep taking his shirt off because the man look like he's supposed to look. You hear me? Stay healthy. I'm telling you. Yeah. Oh, you know what? I don't want to talk no more.
Oh, my gosh.
I don't want to talk no more.
Really?
You need an inhaler?
No, I'm done. That was 2 years ago. I don't need no inhaler no more. We brought sexy back.
So he made several really nice catches, and then there was a deep ball down the sideline, blanket coverage, beautiful throw by Levis, and Traylon Burks brought it in. And you can see it on the Titans Instagram feed at Titans.
Yeah. I sleep well at night.
And the DBs tried to say it wasn't complete.
I don't care what the DBs say. I don't care. DBs
Wait,
go lay
you
down.
sound like Ramon right now.
What?
I have never heard so much defensive hate watching a practice than I do from Ramon Foster. Oh, look. He's whining. Oh, that defensive lineman's whining. Give me a break.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, get him, Babsy.
I mean, he's sitting there, ragging on the refs for any call they make against the offense.
That's right.
I'm like, gee, I wonder where you played.
And he was on the
so
defensive side
obvious.
while he was doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
I love it.
Yeah.
We were standing behind the defensive
We
guys.
want to talk about not neutral. That Ramon Foster is not neutral for the offense.
Can I say this real quick before you go?
Yes.
Hey, Pro Shop, get my boy get a fresh stock jerseys in for my boy.
For Traylon?
Yeah, get a fresh stock in.
Listen,
Pro Shop.
I'm going to tell you, though,
Pro Shop.
NWI, don't give me that look.
No,
That dude, I'm telling you, is legit. He's where he's supposed to be.
Always.
He's running great routes. He catches the ball. He does everything he's supposed to do. He's consistent. He's dependable. If it's NWI and Traylon Burks, who you going to put on the field? I love NWI. Look, I love NWI. I love NWI.
Yeah, you do.
Look at that.
He made several nice
say,
catches today,
I'm
too.
just saying. I love NWI. Did you save that? When
I'll
did
tell
I
you
say
this,
that?
though. It's obvious that Denard Wilson is
It's a weird
coaching
drop.
those guys to be physical and attacking and all the things that he said he wanted. It's obvious because
They play ball.
they are all over people.
Corners play ball.
Yeah.
And there are flags being thrown.
Yeah, without question.
Yes.
Without question. But
There's some holding in there.
it is.
Did something stick out to you today?
Besides Traylon Burks.
Or NWI?
He did look good.
Thank you, guys.
NWI just doesn't stand out. He just is constantly catching and doing the right things, and it's every single practice. I can't believe I'm saying this. Malik Willis.
Every time he made a great throw, I was like, Babsy.
Freaking day is stacking practices.
He had a great
is.
day.
He
had
is.
a great day.
I'll give him that.
He ran with the twos today, too. He did.
Come on.
He did.
I mean, I know. I can't believe I say that, but Yes,
It's,
I'll say
it's
that.
okay.
So here's another thing. I've got two more observations. Brownlee Jr. is certainly turning heads and taking advantage of his opportunity, and I think that he is going to be a big help for them this year. And much needed.
He's got a chance to be a
position.
dude. He's got a chance to be a dude.
He's
you want to talk about physical, and he's a rookie.
So physical, and he has stood out numerous times. Now, not to get all negative on us, but
I'm going to get all negative on us.
Protection issues. The right side of the line, that offensive line, you get to the 2s and 3s, and it's a disaster.
Yeah, it's tough to
they
see.
can't even snap the ball.
It's tough to see.
Yeah,
and
you need to not get to the 3s.
That's still concerned with the 1s.
Yeah.
Because there are protection issues big time, and I think it doesn't necessarily affect Levis right now. They're not hitting the quarterback, but I think that it kind of does affect Levis, and that's why you're seeing miss some of his throws, honestly. The protection issues worry me, and I know it's early. And we also have to think you've got Sweat and Big Jeff on the other side, right? But then again, I had this conversation last year during camp where you thought there were protection issues. Then you're like, oh, well, that defensive front is so good.
Let me ask you this. But do you see the improvement day by day, even if it's a little bit? Because I do.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's fair.
I ain't saying they're going to hold up like a
Although I thought today was a struggle.
I keep hearing NPF is the right tackle, and he's not even out there.
Well, that ain't a good sign.
That tells you something.
That ain't a good sign.
Jabari Small did have a, 30-something yard touchdown run off the right side, but that was the second unit.
You said you keep hearing NPF is the right tackle? I ain't. I'm not.
I think it's...
We're going to go back and forth on that one. I'm not.
Who knows? Because he ain't out there.
That's the other main part to it.
That's why I was so surprised to hear that.
Yeah, I think you keep the door open.
He's back on Friday.
Yeah, I think you keep a door open. You can't close the door on him.
Well, no, you can't, especially not with...
By the way,
Babs is distraught.
Jarvis Brownlee, I wrote down Jarvis Brownlee too. That stood out to me. Did you see what he did after practice? He took his yellow shoes.
Yeah.
And he said they were his lucky shoes. And he said, the first fan that calls my name, I'm going to give them to him. And so this girl called his name, and he went over to her and signed whatever she wanted him to sign. And her dad was talking to him, and he said, I made up my mind. I'm going to give my lucky shoes. These are my lucky shoes. I'm going to give them to the first fan that calls my name, and you did. Here you go. And I mean, the dad hugged him and looked like he started crying. I was like, how about that?
That's dope.
Do you think they knew him from Louisville or just paying attention?
I think he was just a player that was walking by and they
knew who he was.
Hollered at him. Yeah.
Pretty dope.
Here is what Denard Wilson had to say about Jarvis Brownlee.
Jarvis, once again, he's getting better too. He's a young guy, right? And you don't know what you don't know. Like, he hasn't played a lot of football, obviously not in the National Football League. So every day is something new. When the offense installs something, as we go through this install period, we get different things. So he's learning on the run. The thing I like about Jarvis is he doesn't make the same mistake. He attacks the day, like with that dog attitude. He's physical. He can play multiple positions. Now it's about him just sharpening his tool bag and giving them the tools to get better every day.
It's pretty positive.
Build. That's what we were saying yesterday. Like, with the fights or whatever happens, any skirmishes or anything, any disagreements, does it break you down as a team or does it build you up? Coming back, looking at today, the team was built up.
Todd Fuhrman. Were no skirmishes today.
Zero.
That's a weird skirmish.
Yeah.
Skirmish is a weird
I like
word.
that. It's kind of like, hey, it's dancing in here.
He's a skirmish.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Look like an amoeba.
There was one, but it was like individual.
Yeah, it was me outside with that little bug that tried to attack me.
Oh my gosh, y'all should have seen that.
What, dragonfly?
I don't know what this
Dragonflies were out.
No,
we thought it was a cicada at first.
Yeah.
It was not a cicada. It was like a fluorescent green beetle that just attacked Slay. I've never seen him move that fast in his life.
That's the ultimate killer beetle. You can't get that guy can hurt you.
What?
So good.
Did he bite you?
Ultimate.
The ultimate killer beetle. You never heard of that?
Hell no, what do you got?
Todd Fuhrman's next.
Hey, F around and find out now, Mayor.
We're going to talk about SEC football next and probably get into the NFL with Todd Fuhrman next on 104.5 The Zone. Next.
What's happening, good people? You know it's Big Slay coming to you, and you're feeling a little tired. Energy is so important to you. Fellas, I'm talking to you, man. This is a simple test that all you got to do is go to Low T Center, get your levels checked, simple blood test, and with their on-site lab, you'll get results back in 25 minutes. Now, this is about your BMI, your health, also can be evaluated for treatment with also prescription weight loss medication. Let's get that drive back, people. Go to lowtcenter.com to book your appointments today. That's lowtcenter.com, Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
That's not happening. He's just saying.
3HL 1045 The Zone, Britt Doherty, Don Davenport, Ron Slay. I like your little water bottle there, Babsy.
Thank you. They had a discount on engraving for free and
That's a
free
discount.
shipping. So
Okay.
I got a new one. So maybe I'll drink water. You know.
You think this is going to take, Slay Dog?
Yes, early on, but how
For a
long
day.
will it last?
She always has water bottles in front
And
of her.
all of them are nice. All of them,
I
they
know.
keep you like the days of the water that you drink, the hours. Like one of them bedazzled. Like she got all kind of water bottles.
Todd Fuhrman joins us now from Vegas.
Never works.
Over under number of times Dawn Davenport fills up her water bottle during the course of a day.
I mean, look, she's on the Pain Insider plan. I mean, that guy goes through more water in a 90-minute podcast. So the fact that you guys are on the air 3 hours a day, I'm hoping Dawn does about 100. No, I was going to say gallons isn't the right size. That'd be a lot. 100 ounces of water during the show to keep up with you two knuckleheads.
Yeah, so the reality of the situation is she likes to have the water in front of her because that's what she's supposed to do, like
Right.
hydrate, but she doesn't do it.
No.
So the water bottle, does it just stay at the exact same level from when the show starts to when the show finishes? And she's had maybe a sip or two during intermittent commercials?
She used to have one of those water bottles that has like the time stamps on it, like where you're supposed to be over the course of the day. She got rid of that one.
Yeah, because every day it'd be like 3 o'clock and I was still at 9 a.m.
I mean, that's where you got to pick up the pace a little bit, Dawn. I mean, you got to be able to guzzle down all that water and make sure that you can take proper bathroom breaks for hydration during that lovely Nashville summer heat and humidity.
So
it is hot and miserable. I probably shouldn't tell this to the Vegas guy, right?
Yeah.
But today it is.
Todd Fuhrman.
I mean, it's 103 and dry here, but you know what? The humidity, I guess, was on full display because we saw the anger and angst between your beloved Titans players and one of your very fine radio hosts on the program. So I'm just glad Slay doesn't come after me with that same vitriol that Jeffrey Simmons tried to come after our man Buck yesterday.
Stay patient. Stay patient.
He will.
Keep your powder dry.
Slay, I'm hoping for the sake of that Titans D-line, Simmons keeps himself in a little better shape at this point than you do.
Look, hey, guy, you almost got me right there.
Catching strays.
I was just going to keep going. And then I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah,
that was on the way by. I mean, Jeffrey Simmons has looked great, honestly. Like, he looked great today. And T-Sweat, noticeable. So Kenneth Murray at linebacker, sideline to sideline guy, chase ball guy. And there was a run that went toward the sideline. And Kenneth Murray got there first, but right before T-Sweat did. That guy can move.
I mean, look, it's going to be a team that, I mean, I know fans never want to hear this. It doesn't have much in the weight of expectations weighing on their shoulders. Not much expected of them in terms of the betting market. As we've talked about, when you look at their odds to win the division, their win total, and everything else, I mean, this is a team whose win total is 6.5, shaded to the under, puts them 2 games behind the Colts and Jaguars and 3 games behind the Texans. And it's why they're long shots in the division, right around 9.5 to 1, and a long shot to even make the playoffs at a price north of 3 to 1. So as long as there's development, game in, game out, I think that would send the organization in the right direction. I know we've talked at great lengths about Will Levis kind of being the measuring stick, and we'll get a pretty good idea of where this team is through the first 4 games before they go to the bye, with road trips against the Bears and Dolphins and home games nestled in between against the Jets and Packers.
There he is, Todd Fuhrman. The Bet the Board podcast, so the SEC pod is out. Is there a team out of the 16 that you find the most value in currently?
I think a team, unfortunately, and I'm not sure what the listenership is like in Starkville for this very fine radio program. They're not going to like what I have to say about Mississippi State's expectations coming into the year. I think this is a transitional season for a program that has to figure out its identity going forward. And when you look at their over-under at 4.5, I think they're going to be hard-pressed to be able to find 5 wins on their schedule, especially when you look at the way things set up for the Bulldogs early. Yes, against Eastern Kentucky, a home date to kick things off, but there's no other guaranteed win elsewhere for this team other than maybe UMass, who they'll get in Starkville in early November. I think when we look at Mississippi State from top to bottom, this is a 4-win ceiling, and as a result, I think that's one of the better win total bets that you can find in the conference, going under 4.5 wins on the Bulldogs.
Wow. Under 4.5.
What do you think about Tennessee in the 9? There's no hook there.
Yeah, I mean, it's a number that I think is extremely fair. I mean, when you look at this Vols team, we're going to get a pretty good indication of where they are before we even get to the month of October. I mean, a neutral site game against NC State, where Tennessee right now in a lot of shops is right around 5.5, 6-point favorite, will go a long way in determining where this team will be. And, of course, their maiden voyage they'll make to Norman, Oklahoma for that Saturday, September 21st game against the Sooners team. Now, the silver lining in that game against Oklahoma, this will be an OU team that's the offensive line is still going to be a work in progress. It'll play into Tennessee's strength along the defensive line, but at the same time, if they're not able to get pressure on Jackson Arnold, they're going to get tested early and often by this Oklahoma passing attack that's going to want to throw over the top. So when you go through Tennessee's schedule, I think 9-3, a very realistic expectation for this team. 10-2 would be a tremendous campaign, and I'm sure the folks in Knoxville, including Mr. Slay right there, would be a little disappointed if Nico's first season at the helm as starting quarterback resulted in an 8-4 finish and kind of a second-tier bowl game around the holidays.
Yeah, I doubt it. Texas A&M, what do you think? You got more faith in Texas A&M going over, or you got Texas winning out? Which one would you bet on?
Texas A&M is an interesting team because I think they're a program now that's going to have an adult in the room with Mike Elko, who's going to get this team playing a little bit more physical on the defensive side of the ball. Connor Wegman's a talent under center that I like quite a bit, but when you look up and down this roster, there are a lot of holes that they're going to have to fill, and I do have some questions about Colin Klein coming down to call the plays as offensive coordinator from Kansas State, how his chosen method of moving the football will translate in SEC play. But given the fact that I think they have kind of the boomer bust mentality, I have seen some professional money come in on A&M's win total over that number at 8.5. But for me, I'd be much more inclined to take a little bit of a flyer on this team to get to the SEC championship game at a long shot price that's out there. And mainly that's because of the schedule. When you go through who A&M has to play, I mean, they avoid a lot of the big boys in the conference. There's no Tennessee in front of them. There's no Alabama. There's no Georgia. And the way things set up for them, if they're able to get a week 1 win against Notre Dame, it'll be basically a coin flip at Kyle Field, there's a lot of runway for them to build some momentum if they can go into Gainesville and beat the Gators. No reason for me to believe that A&M, in a best-case scenario, couldn't have 5 wins under their belt before Missouri came to town in early October.
You know, I got to ask about my Auburn Tigers because I know you're not sold on Peyton Thorne, but
I don't think Auburn fans, alums, or coaches are sold on Peyton Thorne. So let's not bury the lead there, Miss Dawn.
No.
Listen, you didn't leave anybody out.
Well, I disagree.
I excluded his family. I excluded his family, Brent. I'm sure they believe in his capabilities to lead the offense.
No, I don't necessarily disagree with you on that. Honestly, I'm not even sure that Hugh is sold on him, even though he'll say he is. But I think what he is sold on is Hugh's going to call the plays again, and they've surrounded him with some talent. They've kind of revamped that wide receiver room. Where are you on them with their over-under win total?
There's no doubt that the trajectory of this program is headed in the right direction, and there should be a ton of optimism about what's transpiring down there on the plains for what Hugh is going to be able to put together and allow Auburn to move themselves from kind of that bottom tier they've been in the SEC over the last couple of years and start to climb a little bit more to compete for conference championships. And for everything we want to say about the questions we have, the schedule sets up nicely for them to build a lot of momentum early in the season. There's no reason, Don, in my opinion, they shouldn't be 4-0 setting up for a home date against Oklahoma to close out the month of September. And that game for me on paper as it stands right now, more or less a coin flip. If you're able to win that game and go to Georgia with a 5-0 record, I think everybody would be ecstatic about a month of October, though, that doesn't see them playing a single home game with road trips to Georgia, road trip to Columbia to take on Missouri, and, of course, Lexington to play Kentucky as well. So this is a team whose win total sits, right around that 6.5 threshold. If you told me that they beat Oklahoma to start the season 5-0, I would be more than happy to go over because I think they'll beat Vanderbilt and they'll beat Louisiana Monroe to try and get there. Lose that game to Oklahoma, and I think it's a real battle where they're going to have to pull off an upset. So I think odds makers have done a good job in terms of pricing Auburn and what this team should expect, looking to try and at least get to 6-7 wins, get those extra bowl practices, and try and build for the future, where I think Auburn's going to be able to surprise some folks next year and beyond.
You mentioned Vanderbilt at 2.5. Can they be like the Georgia State game is the one, right?
I mean, that's the way it looks. For the Doors, if they're going to go over the total, probably the one that you have to win, because you figure you pencil in a win against Alcorn State there, gives you 1. You beat Georgia State, that gets you 2. And suddenly, if you're sitting on a win total ticket, all of a sudden you're circling that game in the middle of October when the Ball State Cardinals invade Nashville, potentially giving them the path to 3. If you think that Vandy can pull off an upset in conference, then you have a little bit more breathing room. But I just think this is a program that's trying to figure things out. Diego Pavia, a unique player who I watched a decent amount of at New Mexico State. He's a fun watch. Yep. He's going to leave you pulling out your hair at points, but he's also going to make plays that you didn't think he was capable of. Now, the big question with a smaller quarterback that likes to lean into his legs, how will that translate into playing SEC defenses? It's a little bit different than taking on Sam Houston State, Western Kentucky, and some of the programs in Conference USA. So 2.5, I would lean over, but you hit it, Brent. The game against Georgia State, the third game of the season, will determine, in my opinion, the overall health of that ticket, and not relying for them to be able to pull off an outright upset as a double-digit dog like they'll be most in their conference games.
Todd Fuhrman, our guy in Vegas. Bet the Board podcast, rate, review, download, subscribe, all those things. The SEC pod is out. Conferences have been analyzed, and it's great information, dissected. Even if you're not into sports gambling, it'll get you ready for the season for sure. What about preseason football? Bears and Texans tomorrow.
Yeah, this is a game where you hate to say it, but most of these players will be doing anything other than playing football to try and earn paychecks the deeper we get into the fall. So one of the more difficult games to try and handicap. The Bears have already come out and said we're not going to expect to see Caleb Williams. It's football, but it won't look anything like football. So for folks that get themselves excited to see NFL helmets and jerseys out there on the field, I encourage you to watch 1, maybe 2 drives before you want to pull your hair out when players are running into each other. This is a game that I don't have any strong opinion on. The trend has typically been to go under in these Hall of Fame games, but of course, as we talk about the efficiency of the betting markets, odds makers have caught up, and there's not a whole lot of wiggle room to try and go under a total as low as what we're seeing, because more or less you're just hoping that you don't have a defensive score, a miscue, or something that can blow up a good bet as you get deeper into the fourth quarter.
What about the Olympics? All right, how much volume of betting goes on with the Olympics?
Not a whole lot. These are events for the most part that are very difficult for odds makers to price. So they'll offer them as amenities above all else. You can look at Team USA's game earlier today. We saw them in their exhibition portion, tune-up, whatever we want to call it. They were about a 43-point favorite against South Sudan. The betting market corrected itself quite a bit. That number came down to 27.5 for the game today in pool play, and Team USA never really had a chance to get outside that number either. So it's one of those things that if you happen to find yourself a diehard fan of archery or some of the swimming disciplines that are out there, you can give yourself a little bit of a competitive edge over the odds maker, and that's part of the reason that you'll see relatively low limits that are out there, even for some of the sports that we've grown accustomed to. The 2 markets, though, that you can get bigger limits on will be the golf and some of the head-to-head matchups and the outright markets that we'll see start early in the morning tomorrow, and of course the tennis, because tennis, these are all known commodities that are priced on a week-in, week-out basis, and other than playing for Olympic gold, it's not that much different than what we see on the ATP or WTA Tour on a week-in, week-out basis.
There he is. He's Todd Fuhrman. I know you're a great athlete. Would you have jumped into the Seine River today to compete in the triathlon?
It would have taken an awful lot. I've done a lot of dumb stuff over the years when it came to athletic competitions, getting pushed off of loading docks and shopping carts at 3 a.m. to try and win bets with my buddies. But I'm not sure jumping into a river that hasn't been safe for swimming in 100 years was worth the pursuit of a gold medal. So I tip my hat to those intrepid competitors, because I'm not quite sure I'd have gone that far to try and win myself a medal.
Oh, can you imagine what it's going to be like just sitting in your room later on that night?
No, because you do consume the water.
That's what I'm saying.
While you're swimming.
Yeah, that's got to be.
Yeah, look, I'm hoping that especially for some of the athletes from the Western countries, that they were giving them plenty of antibiotics and anything to try and fight off the potential pathogens pathogens and illness that they could fight. But, we can say what we want about the Olympics and how it's great to have every 4 years. These are the kind of things, in my opinion, that are inexplicable, and how the IOC allows it to happen is beyond me. It's basically, saying that 4 years from now, we're going to have people swimming in open water in LA Harbor, and you're going to have to dodge the trash barges and some of the cruise ships that'll dock there for these competitions instead.
They probably have some pretty disgusting, water type facilities in Vegas that we could investigate.
Look, you can go swimming in Lake Mead. There's always a chance that you can find a 50-gallon oil drum, and there may be a body that'll come up from the bottom, and maybe that becomes its own Olympic event. We'll give people a mask, we'll give them a little bit of snorkeling gear, and they can go down there and try and find those oil drums. Whoever finds the most digits of recently deceased or not so recently deceased can take a gold medal home, or maybe get a $25 free play along with a free shrimp cocktail they can take advantage of at the Hoover Dam Casino.
Wow.
103 degrees. Dry heat.
Yeah, it's not too bad. 95 and humid that you guys a little bit worse than 103 and dry. We had the humidity here. It sweated us out for a little bit, but I think we're supposed to ramp back up to about $1.15 towards the weekend. So we'll get a little bit more of our summer over the next couple weeks.
Yeah, it's pool season, Todd.
Yeah, exactly right. That's where I was before you guys interrupted me. So
get back to it.
By the way, we did tell you that we're coming in August, right?
Yes, I've prepared, and I haven't cleared my schedule because I figure there's about a 12% chance you guys actually make time to see me. So until I see otherwise and some sort of transportation arrives at my door, I'm not going to hold my breath that I get to see your smiling faces in my city, where, ironically enough, when I make it to Nashville, I go out of my way to see the three of you.
That's
We're
not
taking you to
true.
dinner, dog.
Yeah, we'll take you to dinner. How about that?
Where we got Chick-fil-A, or we got In-N-Out? What's on the 3HL budget for that particular week?
I almost don't want to tell you where we're
Carbone,
staying.
man. We're going to Carbone, man.
Because, there you go.
Look at Slay stepping up over there.
When we went to cover the Super Bowl, we told you what hotel we were in, and you quickly told us it's the only non-gaming hotel on the strip.
It's strategic. People have to try and protect your bankrolls. People know all too well about the par Slay and how he more or less bankrupted the Superbook Casino, forcing them to pull out of the state of Tennessee. So, people understand, we can't expose you guys front and center to some of these vices that may be out there. So putting you in a non-gaming casino appeared to be the safest way to do things.
Superbook is holding on because they got Benihana's over there. That's the only thing holding on.
Benihana is a good spot, Slay, and I've never seen you be able to set up a onion volcano or flip an egg into your hat during a hibachi session. So until I see that, I will not stand here for any Benihana slander on this particular program.
That's my spot.
One of the nights we missed you was because Slay wanted us all to go to Benihana.
Like we didn't have a choice.
The way we could have bridged that is Slay going, hey, you know what? I'm going to open it up for the Todd Father to come enjoy a little bit of warm sake and some Vegas's finest hibachi at Benihana. But no, that invitation never arrived. It was, hey, look, I'll be able to meet you. Nope, we had to get a snack, and Dawn had to feed the boys after the radio show because you guys can't remember what time of day it is.
For sure, the invite is in the mail.
Todd Fuhrman.
All right, it's in the mail. I'll be waiting for it, Slay. I don't have that much faith in the USPS.
Yeah. Don't we owe you a T-shirt too?
I think it's a T-shirt, it's a hoodie. It may be a 401k investment along with Cumulus. I'm not quite sure where we're going at this point. So,
yeah.
Todd Fuhrman at Todd Fuhrman, Bet the Board podcast. Get it? It's incredible information. Thank you, Todd.
Always a pleasure. Hey, one last thing. NFL previews do start tomorrow, so NFC East fans will get things rolling, and we'll get the AFC East. AFC South should be out early, late next week or early the week after. So it's right on the horizon.
Perfect. Thank you, man.
You got it, guys.
All right. Todd Fuhrman, 615-737-1045. Always the number. When we come back, Titans outside linebacker Rashad Weaver. You're going to want to hear this next. 3HL 1045 The Zone. Compton Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. That's where you need to go to get that next new vehicle. Whether you're looking for a car, truck, SUV, Jeep, whatever you are in the market for, they will be able to help you out, new or pre-owned. They've got you covered. Just tell them what you're looking for, and they will get you and point it in the right direction. Take your test drive. Go inside. They will help make the numbers work, and it will be that easy. Compton Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram has the perfect vehicle for you to make this the summer event. Come in and test drive a new Jeep Gladiator or Jeep Wrangler and see for yourself why these Jeeps are red hot. Maybe you need a new pickup. Ram has a perfect to pick you up. Select your size from the Ram 1500, 2500, or 3500 with an array of packages from Longhorn to Laramie, plus more. Come into Gupton now to get red-hot savings at the Make This the Summer event. Gupton Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, just 30 minutes from downtown Nashville, 3450 Tom Austin Highway in Springfield, Tennessee. For the best selection, the best savings, and the best service, you got to go to Gupton, GuptonMotors.com.
What's happening, people? Kellum Stem Cell Institute, holistic stem cell therapy brought to your door. You got to go to their door to get it. But many patients have experienced remarkable results like me. I've also done it, man. You've seen the commercials running. You heard about my testimonies as far as me healing up and getting back right, being able to move. No limp anymore. Why? Because when the hip was hurting, didn't all the way kick in. So I went back to him and had such great results with my knee that I wanted to expedite the results in my hip. So I went back to Kellum, got a shot of their secret sauce, air quotations. Nanoparticles and other growth factors function by increasing the energy output of your cells. It's just waking them up, people. The end result is faster healing and pain relief, and I'm living proof. The secret's out. Call Kellum Stem Cell Institute today and get your health back underway, man. 615-850-4415. Get your consultation. I promise you won't regret it. Talk to Dr. Kellum himself. Kellum Stem Cell Institute.com.
Welcome back in 3HL 104.5 The Zone. Brent Doherty, Don Davenport, Ron Slay, Rashad Weaver stepping up to the mic. What's up, man? How are you?
Man, I'm getting to it early practice. Get it out the way before it gets too hot out here.
You got a good sweat going, though.
Yeah, I'm a sweater. I ain't gonna lie, man. That's why I try to constantly keep a towel on me because I'll be walking around in the puddle of shoes if not.
Yeah. I'm with you.
What's the mindset as you roll through training camp, trying to ramp up toward regular season?
For me, it's really just getting better each day between that 1% to 3%, because when training camp is 30 days, and you take 1 to 3% a day, and you look up, that's a big improvement to your game. And I really like just asking the coaches each day what they didn't like, and making sure that doesn't happen each day. And then you're just checking off the list each day when you do that.
See, you're on all these academic lists at Pittsburgh. We weren't doing math, man. We didn't sign up for that. I can't follow all that.
Yeah, they used to make me do math. I forgot it all though.
I remember when we talked in the off season, you were pretty honest. You felt comfortable. You felt good with where you are. Your body was. You liked the new staff. Where are you now with this new staff and this scheme?
I think it's the same, but even more comfortable with the defense now. It's the second or third time we've installed it. And, learning your coaches, and they're learning us, and learning what your relationship will be, how they learning how to coach each person and how hard to coach each person hard. And then we're learning how to accept the coaching and work with it. And I think it's really creating the type of environment in the building and on the field we want, where we, the coach and the player, are growing together to make the team be what we want to be in September.
Do you like the scheme? I
do. I mean, it's fun, it's aggressive, and they're letting you loose, and they're expecting you to make plays, and you got to still do your job. But within that job, they're putting you in position to make plays and impact the game.
You're looking at it's changing day to day. It's kind of the same way it goes in the season. New guys in, new guys out, but you get a new opportunity. How's the leadership as far as it being the same and stabilizing you guys?
Like within the players or the coach? I think and the players, it's always going to be Jeff. I mean, at the end of the day, that's the big dog on the defense. Call it how you see it. It's the most paid player on the defense or on the team, whatever it is, and it's well-deserved. He's a guy that not only impacts the game, but he runs hard, he plays hard, and he doesn't have some, superstar syndrome or something like that. And I think that brings us along, especially with these early practices. When you see somebody out there that's, kind of already done it and check the box of what everybody wants to do in the league, get to that second contract, take care of themselves and their family, and still coming out here going hard every day of practice, running harder than everybody else. And he doesn't switch up. Nothing about him's a facade. He's not out here just talking just to talk. That's what he does, and that's what and who he's going to be. And we love it as a defense. It carries us and gives us juice.
You're setting small goals for yourself each day you come out. I saw you get better and better in individuals, and you bring that to the 11-on-11. Look good. You're doing a lot of havoc over there on that end right now.
Yeah, I'm trying to, man, and I think that's just where, like I said, I really like to ask my position coach exactly what he didn't like from the day and make sure that doesn't happen the next day. And it's sometimes finding that balance for me, because, for me personally, I feel like I should never lose a rep, and that's just not how football goes. The other people getting paid, sometimes you get tired, you slip, do things you shouldn't do, and I think that's just trying to make us limit those each camp. And then, each day of camp, and you go back and you watch the film, and those things you thought were terrible weren't as bad as you thought, and you see the little things that you fix, whether it's a step or just your little hand placement, and I make sure I work on that each day. I think that's why I said I also have to realize today was only day 2 of pads, so sometimes you feel like I should be ready right now, but I got time, and if I just keep having that mindset and just work and look up when it's time to look up, then I'll be ready.
Rashad Weaver with us on 3HL.
So I want to go back to the Big Jeff thing, because obviously with everything that happened yesterday, there's a lot of talk about it. And then he came out today and completely held himself accountable and said that's not what a leader does, and it won't happen again. What was the conversation, or what were the conversations like in the locker room with Jeff?
Nobody said anything to him, and people might agree with me, and I feel different about it. I feel like you can't have a dog that's out here as a savage and a dog and expect him when he's not on this field just to cut that off. If he's out in the public eye, right in the street, yeah, you don't expect that. But I'm walking off the field, still in go mode, and I'm in camp. Like, camp is camp. This is a 30-day grind. Some people don't turn that mind off till this camp's over. You call it how you want. So to me, I think, yeah, you got to have it under control sometimes, but you can't expect a dude to be a savage and love him when he's out there running 3 dudes back, taking quarterbacks' heads off, getting strip sacks, and then get mad because he's coming off here cussing, angry about it. We people too, and people regularly non-football players don't even know how to turn it off in public sometimes. So how you expect a guy to turn it off walking off the field or on the field or in the building? So it's just, I'm sure he learning how to keep working on that, but I love it, and it's going to always keep me going. It's like I told everybody, these early practices is giving you juice and keeping you going. So I'm sure he knows certain things you can't say or do, but it ain't like he was just walking down the street and he said that to somebody. So
That's true. I can't turn it off. I can't turn it off in public. I get it. I mean,
we say stuff like that to Buck all the time. Anyway, no, but he also talked about how fiery a day it was yesterday. Yeah. So that was kind of a special situation also. Like, what led up to all of that physical activity?
I mean, day one, everybody got juice pads on, crowd out here. You got the news stations out here, people recording. Nobody wants to get caught lacking, tweeted about, none of that. And then, like I said, it's day one. Day 4, day 5, you start seeing who the real dogs are. Dudes don't have that juice anymore. I can tell you Jeff going to have that same juice next week on the same exact padded practice. And so I think that, everybody's hyped up for that first day pass.
One more question, and it doesn't have anything to do with anything that's going on out here, but when I was reading through your stuff, I'd forgotten that you were working through that ACL during the pandemic. How challenging was that? Like, could you find places to go rehab?
I mean, I'm going to figure something out no matter what, and that's always been the type of guy I was. They sent us home. They were supposed to send us home for the summer because of COVID, and I texted Coach Deuce and I said, I can't go home. I need to be here for rehab, and they shut down the whole football facility. So they had set it up to where every single morning I would go to a park by myself with some drills. Actually, my best friend from college, we both tore our ACL like a month apart, and we were roommates and everything. So we go to the park every single morning. I'll set up a phone and record every single drill that the strength staff sent me with cones, change of direction, planting, all that. And then we would get in the car, do our Zoom meeting with Coach Deuce, and then I would drive. They had 2 trainers go to the basketball facility and let us use their weight room and their training room just for us to do our ACL rehab. And I'll go in there every morning, and the trainer couldn't spot us or anything. Me and my homeboy would spot us on the bench and stuff. We would do our little BFR workouts and stuff, and we'd go home. And I just did that all summer. I'd be right on my front. I had a front porch with some steps right on 18th Street in Southside Pittsburgh. I'd be out there doing drills off a wooden pole right on the street, cars driving by with bands and stuff, and I would just record it all and send it to them. And I mean, really, it was no different if I was doing it in the building. I had what I needed to have, and I record, like I said, record every video, send it to Coach, and shout out my coach, my strength staff at that time, Coach Austin. He's not at Pitt anymore. I don't know where he's at, but he would analyze every single video. He would draw on it with his finger on his phone, tell me what he liked, he didn't like, and I would do that the whole summer and I came into camp ready to rock out.
Yeah.
There you go, Rashad Weaver. Don't doubt him, man. He's going to work through it. Thank you, man.
Appreciate y'all, man. Thank you.
More 3HL next, 104.5 The Zone.
What's happening, good people? You know it's Big Slay coming to you, and you're feeling a little tired. Energy is so important to you. Fellas, I'm talking to you, man. It's a simple test that all you got to do is go to Low T Center, get your levels checked, simple blood test, and with their on-site lab, you'll get results back in 25 minutes. Now, this is about your BMI, your health, also can be evaluated for treatment with also prescription weight loss medication. Let's get that drive back, people. Go to lowtcenter.com to book your appointments today. That's lowtcenter.com, Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
And good evening from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I'm Joe Hunk. Will Levis met with the media today after the second day of padded practice at training camp. And it's now all about learning the system, growing as a quarterback, and now trying to make the right play instead of trying to make a play.
Yeah, it's probably not the best to have that mindset, I'd say. You really just want to find the open guy. But it might be a thing like, hey, if it's not wide open, I got whoever on a backside dagger that I really want to work this, and it might let you get you through progression a little faster. But in a game, it's a different thought process. But when we're in camp or 7-on, stuff like that, where we can kind of experiment with that, that's the time to do it.
For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Vols, the flagship station for your Tennessee Titans, as well as home to 3HL. This is 104.5 The Zone.
HL 104.5 The Zone. What up, Naz? Over at Doherty with you on a beautiful day in the Music City. Coming up this hour, Greg Cosell, executive producer and analyst for NFL Matchup, senior producer for NFL Films for 44 years. His uncle was Howard Cosell, in case you didn't know that. But Greg Cosell will analyze Titans defensive players today.
I like it.
And then John Ojukwu, right tackle, comes on at 5:45. We had a chance to talk with him after practice, and you'll enjoy that. He played at Boise State, and he played right tackle, started 18 games at right tackle. Then he moved to left tackle, and he started 31 games at left tackle and became all MWC, Mountain West Conference. And so we obviously asked him about J.C. Latham moving from right tackle to left tackle and how challenging, difficult that is, and he'll have a good answer for you. How about that? YouTube, Facebook Live, and Twitch.
Twitch, please.
You can watch the show there. Evan and Bank Chat is open. Don Davenport is here. That was her voice. It's been a minute. I always feel like this one needs to happen at 3 o'clock.
Right. Because I'm always coming in hot.
Yeah.
Not today.
Although you did come in from the Lanai hot.
Hot.
One.
Let's go.
We ran into someone that mispronounced the word Vols, and it just tore her up.
Ridiculous.
That is how
Zeph,
you say it.
what did I say coming into this segment? Zeph thinks he's funny back there.
You got Zeph.
Wait, you told me not to play that?
What is it? Mess around and find out?
Yeah.
Listen, I'm about to U.S. gymnastics team you.
I like that.
That's my new saying. I'm on U.S. gymnastics team you.
That is the name of their team, according to them. F around and find out.
That's right. That's their nickname.
But then somebody made them change it to the Golden Girls. It's hilarious. It's like
There's a big difference.
60-year-old women telling jokes like Slay Dog. I'm in the building. I'm in the building.
Okay.
I was not ready for that.
I was in the building.
Slay Dog.
Neither is Traylon Burks.
Did Traylon Burks show out today at practice?
No, Traylon Burks did him. No, he didn't. He did not.
Him?
Yeah, he did not show out. Not one. He did exactly what's expected when given the opportunity, and he's available. That's all I can say, man. All I'm doing is fighting for the availability and the opportunity. And when it's there, I let him and the work handle the rest, man. Oh no, great to be right.
Where did glad to be right come from?
Oh no.
We were talking about Devondre Sweat being a bear, and you
On two
said,
legs.
is it a Kodiak bear bigger than a grizzly bear? And
Kodak was right.
And I said the Kodiak bear is bigger than a grizzly bear.
I thought some great opportunities without
Grizzly bears get all of the terrorizing thoughts and opinions from people. Like people just are just mesmerized by the terror of the grizzly bear. Kodiak bear doesn't get his fair due. Kodiak bear will mess you up too.
No, you don't need to run into no Kodiak, bro. You just gonna take it with the grizzly.
See,
You don't want to run into any bears.
the black bears up here in the Smokies. Well, I mean, now they're in Nashville.
Are they?
Yeah, man, they had that one in Jolton. I don't know where he went.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, where did they go?
I don't know where he went.
The zoo.
Wherever the heck he wants.
Yeah, I would just go to the zoo.
But they eat plants.
The black
Grizzlies
bears do?
and Kodiak, they eat meat.
Carnivores.
Also, they eat plants, dude. They eat anything they want to eat.
Polar bears eat like people, right?
Yeah,
they eat anything too.
Yeah, they like people.
They're like
Fish,
the
they like fish.
scary ones.
Oh yeah, they'll come get you.
Yeah.
They
got an attitude problem.
But they can't because like the polar ice caps melting or whatever they say is happening. I'm not getting political. I know nothing about it. I just seen pictures of
here we go.
polar bears
right there,
floating around out there in the Arctic water, and they can't get off their thing of ice.
Why?
Because it's too cold to go swim. Like they get detached from the land.
What? It's not cold for them.
Yeah, they like that.
They like
That doesn't
the
make
cold.
any sense.
So basically, you're just effed. Polar bear, Kodiak. This is what we've learned. Polar bear, Kodiak bear, grizzly bear. Stay away.
So if it's you and a polar bear on a sheet of ice, are you jumping in the water and getting hypothermia?
Mm-hmm.
And dying? Or
Would you rather just
fight
be
the polar bear?
Okay, that's a great question. Would you rather be eaten by a polar bear or die from hypothermia jumping in the water?
Wait, can't the polar bear go in the water and chase you because it can swim?
Yeah, but you're gonna die immediately though when you jump in that water.
Yeah, you're gonna be frozen, dude.
You're going to die immediately if you get bit by a polar bear. What are you talking about?
No, you're not gonna die immediately. Nope. He might just take a chunk out your arm and save you a little bit for later. That's a strong possibility.
What would you pick?
I'm in the water. I'm out of here.
Wait, so
Really?
you'd rather die immediately than have a chance
You gonna
to
fight the
survive?
bear?
Oh yeah,
You can
polar
run.
bear.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
If I'm gonna die, I'm. That's fine. I'm gonna go down fighting.
You're gonna be in the
not
bushes.
freezing.
You'll be in the bushes.
Do you know how cold? Yeah, I hate being cold. Y'all know that.
Yeah, I love being cold.
That is true. That is her worst nightmare.
So
to jump into the Arctic
so
Ocean.
she'd much rather fight the polar bear.
See,
That makes
I
a lot
mean-
more sense.
If Dawn
This is the
beats the
worst.
polar bear, then she could use the polar bear fur to warm herself up.
That's true. Till somebody comes and saves me.
Jacob says polar bears be eating folks. Yeah,
That's what I just said.
yeah. So you'd rather go down swinging
Yeah,
I'm gonna get on out there.
100%.
out of there.
Yeah, I'm gonna swim on.
You want to
over
die intact.
there. Yeah, I'm
fully
gonna swim
intact.
to this little ice, the next little ice sheet.
Wait, you
If I
just
make
said
it, I
as soon
make
as
it.
you jump in the water.
If I
you're
make it, I
done.
make it. If I don't, I don't. It's
Yeah,
cool.
see,
Who
that-
would know? I won't.
You're gonna freeze to death, and all of your organs are slowly.
I'm gonna let y'all
shut
go through that
down.
pain. No, they gon' no. All you got to do is go down there and breathe in through your nose some water, and then fill your lungs up. I'm out of here.
Ooh, that is a terrible way to die.
No
Drowning. That's got to be awful.
No pain.
In cold water on top of it.
Yeah, I'm just.
Nope. Let me fight.
I'm out.
How did we get here?
What, Mayor? Why don't you answer that
exactly.
question?
You always take us here.
Yeah, I did. DBs are showing up. Caleb Farley on D-Hop had a nice play. And Jarvis Brownlee making plays all over the field.
Yeah.
He's
That
looked,
dude. That
he's looked
dude.
really good.
What does
Yeah.
Rep Brian call him? Bleach?
Yeah.
Why is he calling bleach, Zeph?
Zeph knows this.
Because when you get bleach on like your clothes and your skin, it like leaves that like smell and you just can't get it off.
No, it's because he's an irritant. That's
No, that's how he described it. I promise you that's how he described it.
Yeah, you can't get it off. Like he's
You
all
can't
over
get it
you.
off.
But he described it to me as he's an irritant like bleach.
I think Zeph went to a little depth.
I think
Zeph
Rhett
and
went to depth with me.
How about a new segment called In Depth with Zeph?
Oh, Zeph would love
I'd have
that.
to think too much for that.
Oh, it's easy for you.
I had to think too much for the Rashad Weaver conversation.
You know
He
somebody
started
else
throwing
is-
out math equations and
Somebody else is getting off on the corners. Gabe Julie Lowley.
yes.
Yeah, he is. He
That's a
showed up a
great
couple
point.
times. Yeah.
Yep. And another guy, Matthew Jack. Like there's some little
Some guys
sneaky young talent out there.
some guys maneuvering themselves.
Somebody gonna be on that practice squad. Just hold tight.
I was watching Spears and Pollard. I'm trying to figure out the difference between them. And there's not much. But Spears, and maybe I'm wrong, but Spears looks a little more like a wiggle guy. And Pollard's more like straight line running. I mean, it's hard to decipher a difference between those two. But having said that, I think Spears has got a chance to be a superstar. So there's that.
I think Pollard is explosive. I think we saw that a couple plays today. Nice cut, explosive.
And then I talked to two different people about this. A position group that performed well today. And
Talk to me.
Slay Dog, I was like, offensive line one, like held their own today. Mm-hmm. And you agreed.
I do agree.
And I went to Moan. I went to your brother, and he
I thought
said the
right
same
side
thing.
Struggled.
I thought they were good. Like especially in the first part of
probably
practice.
better than they were yesterday, but I still thought they struggled.
Before they started really like passing the ball, they were creating holes up front. They were creating.
Okay.
I thought they won the first part of practice.
What about the second part?
Yeah, Big Jeff got a little.
Yeah.
Boy, and listen, T Sweat pops.
Arden Key.
You notice him.
Like them dudes active. You can tell they got a good little nucleus with each other.
I have a weird question with you about Arden Key.
Weirder than would you rather die from a polar bear or
Definitely not.
jumping in the water?
It's actually probably not a weird question. But at what point do you pull him out from the ones because you're not going to have him for 6 games?
Yeah, I'll give him about a week and a half more.
Okay.
I mean, because you
and see if there's an appeal and see what's going on there. He's still got to get in.
He got to
right?
get his reps. Yeah.
Well, I will say this. I did hear Big Jeff and some of the defensive guys towards the end of the practice that were not happy that they weren't getting more reps.
Yeah, they wanted in there, that's for sure.
Let us go eat. What's going on here?
Yeah. Let us in.
Callahan was like, "You're good.
Let us out. Let us out."
Yeah. Yeah.
You got that one. Marshall, if you see a polar bear, you are already dead. Greg Cosell going to analyze NFL Titans defensive players next. Reach out 104.5 The Zone.
What's up, y'all? Big Slay with Wesley Mortgage. WhyWesley.com. You need to dive into it. The owner, Chuck McDowell, good friend of mine, man, local Nashville native as well. And you know with Nashville, what it does? Yeah, they care about the community. If you've grown up here, which he has, then you know you're proud to serve the community as well. Reinvesting in the people and the places that make Nashville such a wonderful place. Exactly what he does. And he does it with one of his companies. That's Wesley Mortgage. WhyWesley.com is where you go and dial into them and get a part of the team. Be a part of a support system that's already in place that can help you succeed through the mortgage business, ensuring your loans close on time, making sure you get paid, making mortgage business fun again. Yeah, I know it's hard to kind of put that together, but Wesley Mortgage makes it happen. WhyWesley.com. They're currently recruiting top mortgage talent, and if you're that, then you need to dial into it. Be associated and have a network opportunities with the Titans, Music City Grand Prix, Nashville Predators, and more. Real simple to do. Go to WhyWesley.com.
3HL 104.5 The Zone. Britt Doherty, Don Davenport, Ron Slay with you. OJ coming up at 5:45. Not that one. That would be an incredible get there, Zeph. Booking the show, get OJ on. John Ojukwu, number 61, right tackle. I'm telling you, listen to it. That's what he says.
I think you're saying it too fast.
You think so?
Yeah, I think you break it up in parts. You saying it all as one word.
But I pause to it's almost like I'm getting on the interstate.
You said Ojukwu.
Yeah, it's like Ojukwu.
Ojukwu.
So do you pronounce the W that's in there?
No.
Not at all.
That W doesn't exist.
Oh, well, good to know, because I've been saying it wrong for a while.
Well, welcome to the party.
I'm just going to call him OJ.
Juice Man.
Yeah.
Listen to you just giving away spoilers.
Well, pay attention.
We actually asked him what. Well, I think you.
Nobody would have known it. They would have thought I came up with it.
What nickname do you prefer? Anyway, Greg Cosell joins us now, as he does typically every Thursday, but traveling tomorrow, so we're doing it now. Greg, what's up? How are you?
What's up, guys? How you doing?
What up, Greg?
Doing well. We talked about the Titans offensive players last week, so let's go into the defense. And let's start with the guy, the team leader, Jeffrey Simmons. Last couple of years, I think he's been dealing with some injuries that he really hasn't talked about until after the season was over, which a lot of guys do that. But what does the tape show with Jeffrey Simmons?
Oh, I mean, he's one of probably the top 3 D tackles in the league. He's at his core, he's a power player. But he does have quickness. But at his core, he's a power player. He can be a dominating player inside. He's kind of the foundation of this defensive front. I heard he's had a little fun the last couple of days. So, but I guess that's what happens when it's 100 degrees and you're out there. No, he's just a great football player, and he'll, and I'm sure that foundationally he'll be the starting point for pretty much everything they do.
Let me think. Where we go? Harold Landry. How about him? That's another guy that should pop off.
He looked good today.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, he did. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Landry, obviously, he came back last year, got off to the slow start coming off the ACL, and then picked up as the year progressed. Your classic edge rusher. Every team wants one of those players that you pretty much have to account for, that can win one-on-one when it's third and long. I mean, ultimately, it's so funny. When I talk to coaches, I kept hearing all about third down. And on offense, you hear on third down, you want offensive tackles that can pass protect one-on-one against edge rushers. So what do you want on defense? You want edge rushers that can win versus offensive tackles. Now, obviously, that doesn't happen on every play. We know that. But, it almost goes back to, 40 years ago, Bill Walsh talking about one of the main keys to win in the NFL was being able to rush the quarterback with your 4-down lineman in the fourth quarter. Mm-hmm. That was a key to winning in the NFL. And in some ways, you could say that really hasn't changed a whole lot. And obviously, Landry can give you that.
So it's pretty obvious when you look at, I was talking with Coach Mack about this, when you look at the stats, the numbers, where he went through that bye week last year, and then after the bye week, those next 12 games, those last 12 games, he had 9.5 sacks. So numbers are what they are, but could you tell on tape that he was over that ACL and that he was explosive again?
Yeah, it's always hard for me to know when a guy's playing, unless he's limping or something, for me to say, oh, he's not playing great or he's not rushing the quarterback because of his knee. That's a hard thing to know. So I can't really answer that, Brent. But, I mean, obviously, he's been a very good pass rusher in his NFL career. I mean, prior to the knee injury, he was a really good edge rusher. So it's not surprising that he came back and did that after he probably got comfortable playing, after the injury. But he's that player. I mean, that's why he was drafted, and he's that player. So you want that. And that's a critical piece of a defense, and particularly now that they've lost Arden Key for 6 games, is it now? Is that what he's been suspended for?
Yeah, he's going to appeal it, but yes.
Well, the appeals don't. Well, so maybe it goes to 4, but I mean, he's not going to be there for the first number of weeks for sure. Right. Certainly for the first month, and he's a really important player on that defensive front. So it'll be interesting how Denard Wilson and Tracy Rocker and they try to figure that out. Who takes his spot?
He went up the field so fast on one play today that he went running past Will Levis. You know how they can't hit him, obviously, and he just touched him on the back. Will never even knew. He never knew until he watches the tape that Arden Key went running past him.
Yeah, I mean, he's
explosive.
a good player. I mean, he can line up outside, he can line up inside. In a sense, he's the replacement for Danico Autry. There's a little different stylistically, but he's that guy within the context of their defense, and that's an important player. There are guys who can probably play in your base defense. Like I think Rashad Weaver can play in your base defense, but he's not the pass rusher that Arden Key is.
Right. Now, another guy that seems to, and this is just sneaky jumping off the tape, and well, my eyes seeing him right down the field, not watching any tape. But Sebastian Joseph Day, I think
really good player. He's been a good player in the league for a long time.
He showed up a little bit.
He stuffed run plays today, is what he did.
Yeah, he's just one of those solid veteran D linemen that can line up in multiple spots along your defensive front. He's not a true pass rusher, but every defensive front needs one of those just solid guys that you can count on. He's been that guy in his career.
Now, what do you think about behind those guys? Kenneth Murray, we got to see him up close and personal. Missed a little bit of him leading into camp, but now that it's here with the pads on, he's out there, man, and you can feel his presence.
Well, Kenneth Murray, he's been a little difficult for me because I watched him coming out of Oklahoma, and he came out of Oklahoma the same year as Patrick Queen, okay? And I liked Murray more based on college tape. Now, it hasn't worked out that way.
Right.
But as you guys have probably seen, Murray absolutely looks the part.
Sheesh.
I mean, this guy is about 6'3", 245. He's an athlete. He can run. Obviously, there's no hitting, so you're not seeing him hit. But I mean, everything about his physical and athletic appearance is a plus. He just hasn't played that way with any kind of consistency. It's not as if he's been a bad player.
Right.
So you're hoping that a change of scenery, maybe a change in responsibility, what he's asked to do within the context of this defense. I certainly don't know specifically what he was asked to do with the Chargers under Staley. But you hope that the change of scenery, change of responsibility can bring out what is clearly there within his body.
And sometimes coaches, like can Frank Bush get something more out of him?
Question.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this, outside run to the sideline and watching Kenneth Murray, heat-sinking missile toward the sideline. I mean.
Oh, no, he's one of those guys that, like I said, when you look at him, you think this guy could be a top 5 linebacker in the league just by the way he looks and the way he moves. But obviously it hasn't happened, which is why he was available and not still with the Chargers.
I want to go, you mentioned Rashad Weaver. I want you to kind of hit on him because I feel like he knows that this is kind of the transition year for him. He feels more comfortable. I know he really likes this staff and this scheme, but just what has he showed on tape and how does he fit in kind of this defensive scheme?
Yeah, I think Weaver is a guy, and I remember watching him in college where he did get a lot of sacks.
Yeah.
But he's not really a bender. He's not a flexible guy. He's more of a kind of a power rusher. He's kind of limited as a rusher to some extent at the NFL level. Not that he'll never get any sacks, but I mean, he's not one of those guys you put on the edge and you say, wow, this guy can just rush the quarterback. But he's physical. He's strong. He's got that kind of stout kind of build. You can tell by looking at him, he's just strong. And he can play the run effectively. He's a solid player. He's just not a dominant pass rusher. But you can line up and play with Weaver. The question is, when you get to those pass rush situations, is he going to be on the field? Early on, they may not have any choice because, I mean, really, who's behind him right now? Is it the rookie Jalen Harrell from Michigan? Is he behind Weaver? Who's that player right now? I guess we don't know that.
We don't know. That's a great question. They're interchanging people. I did notice Jalen Harrell a couple of times today.
Yeah.
Yeah, now Jalen Harrell's another guy. He was a 7th-round pick. He's another guy. He's long, he's lean, he's athletic, but he was a 7th-round pick for a reason, and I did him coming out because obviously he went to Michigan, and they've got a ton of players. And every once in a while, he'd flash a pass rush, and you'd go, wow, that's pretty good. But he just didn't do it often enough. But there's something there within the body type that he has. So again, the question is, can that be harnessed and developed? Being a 7th-round pick, it's not likely if he were to get a chance to play that he's going to be a big factor early on because 7th-round picks usually aren't.
So speaking of rooks, and we talked about him earlier just because I feel like he's kind of fallen behind. We just haven't seen a ton of him. He hasn't flashed in camp. Cedric Gray, just his college tape. I feel like maybe the speed and the transition of the NFL so far, and it's super early, right? Is struggling for him. Anything that you saw in his tape that you thought maybe could lend to that?
No, I mean, he was a really good college player. He was a very productive college player. And he was good in pretty much all areas. I didn't think he was special, and that's the reason he was a 4th-round pick. I looked at him and thought, you know what? He could probably be a solid starting linebacker. Now, again, could he be more? Of course. There's always, guys do develop. It depends on situations. But clearly the league and all the evaluators in the league, not just on the Titans, but every team, did not see him as a top 60 kind of player. Or he would have been drafted there. So I think most people, and Coach Mack could probably address this better than I, being a linebacker guy, but my guess is people saw him as, hey, he could be a solid starter. I think they would like him to be that. Look, Murray is clearly one starter. Right now, I'm assuming Jack Gibbons is lining up with the ones with Murray.
Mm-hmm.
I would think they would want Gray to take that spot eventually, but there's no timetable for that. I mean, there's no way to know that, is what I'm saying. They may have a timetable. They're with him every day. I'm not. But I think they would like him to take that spot, but it may not happen until next year. You never know. You just don't know. You have to go through the training camp and the season, and we'll see what happens.
Greg Cosell with us on 3HL. Let's stay down the rookie path and go into the secondary. A guy that's been turning heads consistently now is Jarvis Brownlee Jr.
One of my favorite guys. I can't believe he lasted until the 5th round.
Really?
Tell us about him.
That guy is super competitive. He can play outside. He can play in the slot. He's physical. I loved everything about him, watching him at Louisville. I happen to know the DB coach at Louisville, and I talked to him about him. They've got another kid there right now named Quentin Riley, who could well be a 1st-round pick coming out in 2025. But I loved Brownlee's tape, and I don't know why he was a 5th-round pick. I never know that stuff. It's why I don't do lists, because I just evaluate the players, and I'm not going to be right on everybody. Of course, no one is. But I thought Brownlee was, to me, he was worthy of a 3rd-round type pick. I mean, I really loved his tape.
Well, he's been showing up.
He's showing out,
and he is not backing down. That is for sure.
And he's super competitive. He will not back down.
The veterans in the secondary have been sitting out the last couple of days. Cheeto, Jamal Adams, and L'Jarius Sneed. I wanted to ask you about Elijah Molden. If they have to go with him as like the regular guy next to Amani Hooker, what does he give them?
Yeah, I mean, I think to me, and he's not going to do this for the Titans, I think to me he's better served as a slot corner than a safety, because I don't think he quite has the length and the range to play on the back end. Now, that gets into a lot of other questions as to how you structure your back end. I mean, there's many ways to play coverage in the National Football League. He's certainly not a post safety where you just line him up as your single high safety. He's not that player. If you're going to play a lot of two shell, or quarters structure, as we say, he could probably do that. But to me, ideally, he's not a safety. Now, can he play it if you need him to? Probably. I mean, I think right now that position next to Hooker is a question mark because, based on the last number of years, I'm not sure Jamal Adams can do that either. But again, then it comes down to what you're going to play. And they're going to work. I'm sure they have a sense of that right now, but they're certainly going to work through it during training camp as well.
There he is, Greg Cosell. Appreciate it, buddy. We'll talk with you next week, and we'll be a couple days out from the Titans' first preseason game.
Thanks, Greg.
And then I'll be there the following week for the joint practices.
Hey,
Yay!
Let's go.
That'll be fun. Thank you,
All right,
Greg.
guys. Appreciate it. Thanks.
All right, Greg Cosell at Greg Cosell on X. When we come back, Titans right tackle John Ojukwu. Is that better?
We'll just let him tell us.
He'll do it next. 3HL 104.5 The Zone.
What's happening, good people? Yeah, the weather is so real. Yeah, listen, the weather, storms come in and can make you not want to talk. The electricity go out, then your power drains you.
Then all your food goes bad. You got nothing in your fridge. You waste all that money.
That's right,
and your
baby.
kids are scared because it's dark.
Yeah, you can get all that solved. All you got to do is go get you a Generac automatic standby generator. Give Cove Generators and Generator Dave a call at 931-559-3311, covegenerators.com, and get some of these discounts.
I like it.
Yes.
Yeah, how about this discount? All you have to do is say that you know us.
Oh, that's easy.
Dawn, Slay, 3HL, The Zone, whatever, and Generator Dave will give you $500 off if you tell them that you know us and you heard about it here. How about that? That through August 31st, some other special offers going on. And just to let you know, with Cove Generators, they will take care of you as far as financing. It's available. It's way more affordable than you think, and certainly worth it to protect your family and never lose power again. Cove Generators, 931-559-3311. That's covegenerators.com.
Stay connected through it all. What's happening, good people? You know it's Big Slay coming to you, and you're feeling a little tired. Energy is so important to you. Fellas, I'm talking to you, man. It's a simple test that all you got to do is go to Low T Center, get your levels checked, simple blood test, and with their on-site lab, you'll get results back in 25 minutes. Now, this is about your BMI, your health, also can be evaluated for treatment with also prescription weight loss medication. Let's get that drive back, people. Go to lowtcenter.com to book your appointments today. That's lowtcenter.com, Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
So many people trust Two Rivers Ford. Football players, working moms, business owners. Why? Because Two Rivers Ford has been doing business with integrity for decades. Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford.
You ever wonder why so many pro athletes go and use stem cell therapy? Because it works. I'm Ron Slade, retired 14-year pro basketball player, and I needed to get this done. After I went through my entire career riddled with injuries, I needed therapy. So I went to Kellum Stem Cell Institute out in Franklin. Why? Because they're the stem cell specialists. They can be yours too. They're the stem cell specialists of the Tennessee Titans. You know why? Because it works.
Make an appointment today with Kellum Stem Cell Institute.
Welcome back in. 3HL 104.5 The Zone. Brett Doherty, Don Davenport, Ron Slay, John Ojukwu.
Yes, sir. How you doing today?
I'm doing well. Did I get it?
You did, yeah.
I want to hear you say it.
Ojukwu.
Okay. One more time for us.
Ojukwu. Yeah.
It's the emphasis on the O.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Ojukwu.
But everybody calls you OJ. Was that a Mike Vrabel thing? How did that land?
Every coach kind of comes up with it. There's a lot of Johns on every team, so at some point, some guys can't pronounce my last name, so OJ it is.
So the heat out here. You grew up in Idaho. How long did it take you to adjust last year?
Not too long. The first couple of days of those rookie practices last year were a little, blackout, but got through that, and then now it feels really good down here.
Well, then you end up on the field. Jumbo tight end packages. The first time you went on an NFL field in a regular season game, what were you thinking? What were you feeling?
Craziest feeling ever. I remember lining up there on the left side. We were playing the Seahawks, and I was like, wow, this is it. Like, this is an NFL game. This is all I've dreamed about and all I want to do.
Very cool. Okay, so obviously you come in now, completely different offensive scheme you get to learn. Let's be honest, different teammates around you on that offensive line. Where are you kind of most comfortable right now with the new scheme, with the new coaches, with the new position coach, all of that?
All the coaches do a good job of kind of rotating us around and individual and everything, and even in the OTAs and everything. So I feel pretty good at most of those positions. And then doing the flipping on the tight end last year helps me kind of, be versatile on both sides. But right now I'm doing a lot of right stuff and everything. Yeah.
And how's it going? How do you feel? I know you're running with the ones here and there. You're running with the two. I mean, I know Coach has everybody everywhere. But what is your comfort level on the right?
Feels good, working on some new techniques and everything, and now that we're in pads, you can kind of really get down into the business of what you need to do. So really working on the hands, footwork, everything like that, and hitting.
What's your history, offensive line, as far as where you played the most, where you liked the most? Kind of fill us in there.
In college, I started off, I think I did scout team my first year left, and then moved to right for the first couple of years of playing. And then when I left check, I went to league, went over to the left side. So kind of did both, about half and half in college, yes.
Okay.
All right, now listen, we got something called the boom boom room. Now the boom boom room is when you go in, man, the door's locked behind you. It's just us two rapping, and it's a little off kilter a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But it's just us. The door's locked, and the only way you can get out, the doors will be unlocked if you tell the truth to the best of your ability. Do you agree to these terms, John?
I got you.
All right, lock the door.
Ah, yes. One man on his way in to the boom boom room.
Going into the boom boom room, John Ojukwu. Did I say that right?
Yes, you did.
All right, now we need a nickname. Give us a nickname that you like.
OJ or Juice Man's fine.
Juice Man, I like it. Hey. Okay, we're going Juice Man. All right, Juice Man, this is what I need to know first, man. Take me back to college. Give me one time that's a memory that you just, if you could go back, you'd relive it.
Probably our Florida State game. We had a lot of moving around, a lot of adversity, and we finally got to the game, and then we started down, but came back and won it.
All right. So your biggest adjustment from college to the league off the field?
Off the field, just I guess moving in, doing my own stuff, setting up my own home, away from family and everything, and just being on my own.
Okay, so do you hire a cook, or are you doing the cooking? You know what I mean? Like what is it? Are you just staying at the training table? What you doing?
A lot of stuff from here. I love it here, but I like cooking and everything too.
Give me a mentor in your life, man. That's kind of you have somebody you can lean on, whether it be past or present. Somebody that things get tough, you give them a call and they can snap you back into the reality of it.
Honestly, the biggest ones are my old teammates and even current teammates and everything. Those are the ones I talk to when things go rough or things I need to work on and everything.
Someone you lean on because, this being in this Titans, this offensive line is forever changing and you're trying to get some stability. Who's somebody that you lean on outside of Coach Callahan?
With all the players here, some of the older guys like Dan, Leroy, Kush, all the newer guys, but yeah.
Give me one impersonation of Coach Bill Callahan. Either with you guys in the sled, in the oval, or whatever it may be. Give me one impersonation that your big birthday, anything.
I got you. You got to bring your hips, bring those hips, run those feet. Come on.
OJ, you did a terrific job in the boom boom room. The door's unlocked, man. How was your experience in the boom boom room?
It's fun. I had a good time.
All right, unlock the door.
Well. Looks like you did good in the boom boom room. Hoo-wah.
So she was talking about right tackle and left tackle. So you play right tackle in college. You move to left tackle and become all-conference player. Obviously, J.C. Latham's making that move now. How challenging was that for you? What is he going through, do you think?
It's just flipping the plays in your mind. That's the quickest adjustment, and then just the way you move your body and everything, and the way defenses kind of scheme up the right side versus the left side, it's going to be a little bit different. So just expecting those changes, and then just getting your body down is the biggest thing.
Is it easy?
When you get the reps, it's a little better. Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Just getting those reps and reps and reps. And if you flip after not getting a lot of reps, then it can be a little harder.
Here's a question I told Slay I wanted to ask you. So I was reading on the Titans website about you. 185 in his junior year in high school, correct?
Yes.
Gained 100 pounds in a year.
What?
Wow.
Doing what?
Yeah, how?
I was eating everything I could, and then on top of that, I was drinking a gallon of milk a day.
That makes me want to vomit. What do you weigh now?
I'm about 315 right now.
Okay. There you go. Gallon of milk. Got it.
That'll do it. Peanut butter and jelly sandwich, shakes, or milk? Which one you prefer?
All three.
Wrap it up.
I do have a small question about the new helmet covers and now the rule that's saying that you can wear them during the games to kind of help protect from concussions. What's the talk from players on that? Do you expect players to actually wear them during the games?
We might see it from guys that are concerned about their head health and everything, but yeah, I haven't thought about it too much in the games. We've been wearing them, since last year in practice and everything, especially as an old lineman, so we're pretty used to them in the trenches.
Will you wear it in the game?
Not sure yet.
Okay. I was just wondering, I mean, they're super light, right? You can't even tell, but I don't know if players would be completely against it because of the look specifically of
that
it.
That might be one thing, just like if they want the uniform to all look the same or something like that.
Yeah. Okay. So you don't know if you'll wear it? Yeah.
I can see skill guys not doing it. It's going to weigh him down.
Right. No,
can't be as fast.
1 ounce.
Yeah.
1 ounce makes a difference.
Hey, about Bill Callahan, while we have you, we call him OLJ, Offensive Line Jesus. Like, how good of a position coach is that guy?
He's amazing. He's got, all the tools in the world, coaching for 30 plus years and everything. And it's just been incredible working with him and just seeing all the things he can do to help you get better.
Last question, because obviously there's a lot of talk about Big Jeff and emotions and fighting and whatever else, and he addressed it today and took accountability and said that's not what a leader does. But I want your take on that intensity, Big Jeff over there, Sweat over there. How much does that help you guys to develop, and what is your take on the intensity?
I think it's great. I think you want that from a defensive lineman, defensive leader, out there on the field. So you're going to get on a game day. You're going to get the same thing in practice, and that's going to give you the best look that you're going to get. So, we're all iron sharpens iron, trying to get better every single day.
Where were you during all those squabbles yesterday?
I was trying to get me a little bit. I'm not, jumping on the pile or anything, but trying to help.
You weren't out of it, though. You're in there, right? Yeah.
All right, there he is, OJ. What was the
Juice Man.
Juice Man. Juice Man. All right, that does it for 3HL. We'll be back at it tomorrow. Love y'all. Good night. God bless.
See ya.
Wouldn't want to be unless you're Tajay Spears or Traylon Burks or this hot sun.